What is good, people? We're back with another video, and this is going to be talking about the connection between the micro and the macro. You are the universe. Everything is inside of you. So the first thing you need to understand is that the law of mentalism, we are a thought in the creator's mind. Everything's being thought into existence. We have a spark of this mind, this same mind of the creator. And everything is a state of mind. Particles or atoms, whatever you want to call them, are a mental thing. They're a product of the mind. Everything's thought into existence. Thoughts influence everything. Thoughts are energetic effects which send out waves into the quantum field around you. And your consciousness is actually the universe experiencing itself, expressing itself, and viewing itself. So we are the creator, but viewing itself in separate bodies. And this is why they call the material world the world of illusions, because everything's separate here, but we all forget that we're not all one. We've all been brainwashed to think we're all separate, but we're all one. We're all the same mind, the same consciousness, everything. So everything's created out of toroidal fields. God created the toroidal field. That's the only thing that exists, because atoms are toroidal fields, and it's the basis behind all creation. As you can see it in the owl's eyes, it creates the infinity symbol. And this was the apple. That apple is a toroidal field. And the toroidal field is made out of dielectricity, which is ether. Ether is black light, and this is counter space. This is another realm. This is what creates God to be omnipresent, to be everywhere at one place at all times. He is everywhere, because ether is everywhere. Ether is infinite potential. It connects everything together, and that's what energy moves through. It moves through the ether. And that's black light. Everything is light, as it says in John 4:2. God is light. Everything's a vibrational state of light. So the torus field is made out of dielectricity, ether, black light, magnetism, which is white light, which is the center of the toroidal field. And magnetism radiates, it has no vibration. And then when white light splits, it turns into electricity, which is physical material, and that has a vibration. This is the Holy Trinity: the sun, the moon, Saturn. Saturn, the god of materialism. If you've watched my videos on Saturn, you know that Saturn is crystallizing everything into physical matter. And that's why his old name was El. The ancients called him El. And this is why we get L electricity. This is where L electricity comes from. Because L electricity is only a product of the physical world, which is redshift, blueshift, Adam and Eve. And this is what creates the redshift, blueshift is a product of magnetism. When magnetism, white light splits, and this gives us vibration. And this what creates the toroidal field, which is the basis of all physical creation. The sine wave is created out of the magnetic wave and the electric wave. The electric wave is the blue wave, and the magnetic wave is the straight wave, which is radiation. This is vibration, frequency. So the magnetic wave is straight, and then you have longitude and amplitude, which is depth, which is dimension. You see how the electric wave has depth and dimension. This is why you get the cross. This is the cross of Earth. This is the symbol of Earth, of bondage, of physical matter, because it consists of magnetic wave and depth, which is electric wave. And this is where you get the sun cross or the Earth cross, whatever you want to call it. It's the cross of physical matter, and the ancients knew this. This is why they used that symbol. Redshift, blueshift, which is the toroidal field, is the basis of all creation, physical creation. And this is why you have the police siren is red and blue. The Matrix movie, red pill, blue pill. You have red blood and blue blood in your body. The Democrat and Republic, the two parties, red and blue. Like your taps, on your taps, you have a red and blue tap. One's generative, one's destruction. Fire, destruction, water, generative. So this is the basis of all things. And electric wave has dimension, like I've already said, depth, material, and it's measured in hertz. It's measured in hertz because it hurts you. It decays, because the electric wave has a vibration, and vibration always has to go back to a standstill point. This wave cannot go forever, but the magnetic wave will go forever. It's radiation. Magnetic is radiation. It radiates forever. It pulses. But the electric wave will at some point come back to a standstill point, and that's why it hurts. It decays. That's why our physical bodies decays, because we contain of electricity. this body is an electric body, and it will return back to stillness like a guitar string. If you vibrate a guitar string, you pull it, it will vibrate, make a sound, and then go back to a standstill point. It's the exact same with every single toroidal field within the body. It will decay, and this is why our bodies decay, and everything in creation decays. So we're born into sin, the sin of Eve. The sin of Eve is us biting into the tree of knowledge of good and evil, which is the, the systems in the body. And the sin of Eve is biting into the sine wave. We bit into the sine wave. The sun moves in a sine wave. Our DNA is a sine wave. Time is a sine wave. Everything in this creation is a sine wave. This is why the dollar bill is a sine wave. Magnetism and electric waves in one. And this is the sun doing its sine wave, which creates, when you go bowling, it kind of creates that pin that you hit over. That's the pin of the sun. The zodiac sign is a sine wave because the zodiac sign is an expression of the toroidal field, because magnetism unfolds into 12ness. And that's why you have 12 zodiac signs, 12 systems in your body, 12 cranial nerves in your head, in your brain. So if you can imagine this, see where my pointer is. Always starts with Aries. Aries is the head. It's the first thing that's created in the womb. And this is Aries, the ram. And this is why it's called a cerebrum in your brain, which is the first thing that creates when you're in the womb. And what's the element of Aries is fire. Fire is the first element. F-I-R, first, because it's the first thing on the wheel, the first expression of energy. As you can see here, my pointer, this is the center of the toroidal field. It would go Aries, Virgo, Capricorn, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. Then we go back to Libra. Libra would be center. But you see how the toroidal field is the expression of the 12 energies. That's what the constellations are, the energy expressions of the toroidal field. So it would go outwards, starting from Aries here, all the way back to Pisces, which is be on the bottom half. But Libra would be the center. That's why Libra is the equinox. It's the equinox. Libra is when it goes from summer over to autumn. It's the equal. It starts to transition into the winter side. Equinox, equal, which is Libra. And that's why Libra has the two scales. It's symbolized with the two scales. That's because of, the sun moving over. It's being judged. It's equal now, but then it's going to tip over into the winter. That's why Libra is here, the center of the sine wave. Like I said before, magnetic energy unfolds into 12ness. Magnesium is number 12 on the periodic table. It's the sacred number. And this is why the scientists are NASA is trying to bring in another constellation to destroy the holy science of astrology. So Aries rules the head, which is Mars. Taurus rules the neck, the lower head. Gemini, the two twins, which is your lungs, your two twins, your arms, two twins. Cancer, the breasts, or the chest area. Leo, the heart, which is the sun, which is fire, the center of the toroidal field. Virgo, the belly, which is the intestines. Libra, the kidneys, the two scales, the kidneys, balancing out everything. Scorpio, the sex organs. Sagittarius, hips and thighs. Capricorn, I've missed that out, which is the kneecaps. Capricorn, kneecap. Aries, which is the ram, which is the cerebrum in your brain. And then Aquarius, the calves and the ankles. And the Pisces, the two fish, the 2 feet. So everything corresponds, as you can see here. This is an ancient way of depicting it, of the folded human. And this is everything. Each constellation rules that part of the body, gives energy to that part of the body, makes you do certain things. So magnetic energy unfolds into 12ness, electricity unfolds into 7s. That's why when you get electric, the light spectrum that we see, it consists of 7 colors. Why we have 7 planets. The 7 planets give us our 7 metals and the 7 solfeggio scale frequencies. So the rotor, this is the rotor. And rotor is an anagram for Torah. The Torah, which is I think it's the Hebrew Bible. Don't quote me on that, but it's one of the holy books. Which is the Torah, the Taurus. Everything goes back to the Taurus field because it's the basis of all creation. So the chief cornerstone, it says in the Bible that the builders rejected the chief cornerstone. The chief cornerstone You are the builder. You decided to incarnate into the physical world, into the electric world, El, the world of El, Saturn. When you are created in the womb, it takes you 9 months for you to be created. So for example, if your parents, if you went into the womb here, it'd take you 9 months. So let's say you're born in Scorpio. So you'd go back 9 months, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You consist of all of these 9 energies because it takes 9 months or however long you took to be born. Some people are born earlier. You'd have to find out how many months you were in the womb for. But you consist of these 9 energies, and each constellation has a cell salt associated with it. And these cell salts are vital for your health. And your cells are the optimal health of your body. So the chief cornerstone that you rejected is these 3 cell salts, these 3 constellations. So you're mineral deficient in these 3 constellations. For example, fluoride, magnesium, phosphate, and potassium sulfate. So that's the chief cornerstone. And a cornerstone, people always get it rejected with the cornerstone. The cornerstone is not, it doesn't say the cornerstone in the Bible, it says the chief cornerstone. The cornerstone is a cornerstone of a building, but a chief cornerstone is the top of the pyramid. This is where we get the pyramid of the wheel. So you're mineral deficient in whatever 3 zodiac signs you were not in the womb for. This is the chief cornerstone you rejected. So the human body is the micro. It is the universe in a physical form. It consists of everything in the universe. Just like your consciousness is the universe watching itself, experiencing itself. Your body is the whole universe. 12 systems in the body, 12 zodiac signs, 7 chakras are the 7 planets. The Holy Trinity of you is your Temple of Solomon, the soul and the mind, the sun and the moon. You know, everything is in you. You consist of everything, all the energies, everything. Heaven and hell. Heaven and hell is a mind state. It's a state of the mind. Head, H-E-A, which is heaven, and the heel, the bottom of your foot, is hell. And the bottom of your foot is the soul. So they're basically saying, well, it's wordplay. They're saying that your soul is in hell because, you know, with the elites being in control. So they call the bottom of your foot the soul, trying to say that you're in hell. The Christ is in you. And this Christ is Greek for what? Christos. Christos is Greek for the oil, and this oil is produced in the cerebrum, the Aries, the ram, the cerebrum, pineal. It goes down the pineal, the pineal and the pituitary are underneath the cerebrum, goes down the pingala and the ida, the pingala being the positive charge connected to the pineal gland, pin, and the ida connected to the pituitary. And this is the 2 serpents going down the spinal column. And this is why Jesus goes from Nazareth to Bethlehem, and then Joseph and Mary are waiting for Jesus in Nazareth. Joseph and Mary are the pineal and the pituitary gland waiting for Jesus to come back up the River Jordan, or spinal column. So this is the oil. This is the story of Santa as well. Santa comes from the North Pole. Why? Because the North Pole of the Earth is the center of the toroidal field, and the North Pole of you is your spinal column, which is the North Pole of the toroidal field. The North Pole. He comes from the North Pole. This is the North Pole. This is the South Pole of the toroidal field. Comes from the North Pole, which is your mind. And he goes down the chimney and then back up the chimney. This is the chimney. And he drops off the present, which is the Christos, the oil. And this is why Jesus is crucified at 33, because he crosses over the vagus nerve at the top of your spine. When this oil comes back up the 33 vertebrae, these are your vertebrae here. When it goes up to the 33 vertebrae, it gets crucified at 33 because it crosses the vagus nerve, and he's crucified on a cross at 33. This is the story behind Jesus and Santa. The Ark of the Covenant in the Bible is the 2 hemispheres which cover the vital parts of your mind, the brain side, which is the cerebrum, the pineal, the pituitary, etc. So the 2 hemispheres are the 2 angels, the Ark of the Covenant. This is the Ark of the Covenant, covering the 2 vital parts of your brain. So these are the optic thalamus is another part, and it protects the Christ oil, which is inside at the center of the brain. See, the Bible is all a massive metaphor about yourself, because you are the universe. You are a microcosm of the universe. Your consciousness is experiencing itself, and the universe experiencing, and your body is the whole universe. Your head's heaven. So Moses crosses the Red Sea. These are the two hemispheres of your brain. This is the corpus callosum, the Red Sea. So he's pretty much saying that he's uniting the two hemispheres of your brain, because most people in this generation are stuck in the left brain, which is just logic, reasoning, science and maths, writing. And this is what school teaches you to do. It keeps you stuck in your left brain. And you want to cross over to you want to cross the Red Sea, which is the corpus callosum, to the right brain, which is awareness, art awareness, creativity, imagination, intuition, insight, using the higher mind, creativity, imagination. If you don't have intuition, then you can't read energy, you can't pick up on bad things. This is what Moses is symbolizing by crossing the Red Sea. And it's also the upper room where Jesus met the 12 disciples. 12 disciples are the 12 cranial nerves in your brain. It doesn't just represent the 12 zodiac signs. The 12 disciples symbolizes many different things. It's like I said, energy the universe consists of 12ness. So you have 12 cranial nerves in your brain, and that's the 12 disciples as well. And they want you stuck in your left brain, which is the five senses, materialism. So they say in the Bible that Satan blinds the mind. Satan is Saturn. If you've watched my videos, Satan is Saturn. And you consist of the Holy Trinity, which is the sun, moon, and earth. The soul, moon, the soul being your sun, the solar, the moon being your mind, the earth, your physical body. And Satan blinds the mind. Why? Because we enter a soul system. This is a soul system, not a solar system. And Saturn is the Lord of the Rings, which is the outer ring. When your soul enters the soul system, your soul starts to materialize. It hits Saturn. Why? Because Saturn starts to materialize you. You take on the 7 virtues, which are the 7 planets, which are your 7 chakras. And to get out of this soul system, you must get out of your lower nature, your animal nature, which is lust, desire, greed. The number of the beast, 666, which is Saturn, Satan. So you enter the soul system, you take on the 7 energies, which you turn into physical matter. And this is your descension from heaven to what you say hell. And then you must raise back up from matter to spirit. They say Satan blinds the mind. Why? Because your mind gets materialized. Your soul and mind get materialized. And when you get materialized, it's an intense experience. You lose the divinity within you. You forget the divinity. So Satan, which is the first planet, the first energy you take on, the material body, he blinds the mind. He makes you forget everything, your divinity. Then you must remember, ascend up Jacob's ladder, the 33 vertebrae, to heaven. And this is a microcosm of the macro, because you will ascend back up to heaven if you do this, when you leave your physical body, when your body decays. So when it talks about in the Bible, completely destroy them, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, all the ites, this is what God says to the Israelites. It says completely destroy them. It's basically symbolizing saying destroy your lower nature. The Canaanites, cannibals. We're under a Canaanite system now, which is cannibalism. And this is flesh eating, lust, greed, all the demonic stuff, all the lower vibrational stuff. The lower nature, eating, sex, and survival, the lower 3 chakras. You must get out of these lower 3 chakras and return back to spirit, which is heaven, which is spirit, love, being holy, being truthful, being passionate. Going back to Satan blinding the mind, all of the planets are made out of these 3 symbols. Satan blinds the mind, and that's why Satan's symbol, this is the symbol for Saturn, Satan, the symbol of Saturn is the cross, which is physical matter, the earth, over the moon. The moon is your mind. So the Saturn symbol saying matter over mind. He blinds the mind. Satan blinds the mind once you enter the soul system. And you must remember, in the Bible it talks about the Genesis, which is Eve, the sin of Eve, which is biting of the tree of knowledge. The serpent which wraps around the tree. It says the serpent placed himself on the tree. Well, the serpent is the spinal column. It's the serpent telling you eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, which is your nervous system. And eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil is doing bad things. For example, over-sexualized, overeating, eating the wrong food. That's eating from your nervous system. It's decaying you, and it's preventing you from achieving the God self, the God consciousness. This is the symbolism of, the tree on the serpent, telling you to eat from the left brain, with the left brain being the sinister. Sinister is Latin for left. That's sin. Sin is left. And left is lefty loosey, Lucifer, right, righteousness, right, God, godly. The tree of knowledge of good and evil, which is your nervous system, because it determines good or bad. That's the only thing you experience in this world is your nervous system. And then the tree of life is the cardiovascular system, and the Garden of Eden is your body. So that's it for this video, people. I hope you've got a greater understanding of how you are the universe and everything is inside of you. Just keep in mind you are the universe experience in itself, and your body is a reflection of everything. The 12 constellations, the 7 planets, everything's inside of you. This world is an expression from the inside outwards. You can't affect the outside world to manipulate reality. Everything's inside of you. I hope you got a greater understanding of this. God bless. What is good, YouTube? Today we're going to be talking about the astral plane and how the cosmology fits into the astral plane. Okay, so first let's go over the astral plane and go over the different layers of reality so that you can understand reality more. You are a multi-dimensional being. You are not in these, you are in all of these realities at the same time. They all interweave into one big reality. But there are different planes. They are different vibrational dimensions. There are different dimensions of reality. The mind is the root cause of reality. We're living in the mind of God. Everything is being thought into existence from the root cause, from the universal mind. This is why the ancient Egyptians said, all is mind. We're living in the mind of God. And we are a microcosm of this mind. This is why we all have the same mind. This mind is the world of thoughts. Now, this world of thoughts is just the thought alone. For example, it is the thought of a chair. But then when you start to imagine this chair and you start to mentally see the chair, you're now manifesting the thought, the singular thought, into some sort of form. So now you're imagining the chair. You're imagining the form of this chair, which is then manifesting into the astral plane. The astral plane is the world of thought forms manifesting. So when you are imagining something, you are seeing into the astral plane. Okay? Your third eye, it is an eye because it sees the astral plane. It is seeing the other side through imagination, through dreaming. Well, we'll go over dreaming later. So, the thought of a chair is a singular thought. The imagination of the chair is the manifestation of the chair. And in the astral plane, it's basically the world of all the chairs that could ever exist. So you're thinking of the chair as a singular thought, which is the mental plane. The astral plane is the imagination of that chair. Is the thought, the manifestation of it. Depending on the vibrational state of the thought will depend what level of the astral plane it will go to.
For example, if you're thinking about a chair to torture someone on it, it's going to go on the lower astral plane. Or if you're thinking and imagining happy things, it's going to go to the higher astral plane. So wherever your mindset is, that we call it a mindset because your mind is setting frequencies to certain things. Thoughts are frequencies. And a mindset is setting your frequency, setting your mind to a certain frequency. So when you set your mind to a certain frequency and you imagine something in that frequency, you're going to match everything in the astral plane that are on that similar frequency, just like you would in the physical world. Because we're all in these worlds right now as we speak, but we can't see them with the two physical eyes. We can feel it though. When you're around someone and you've just met a new person, for example, you can feel their vibration, and if you're not on a similar vibrational match, you will not get along with that person, or you just won't not get along, but you won't connect with that person because you're on two opposing frequencies, not matching. And this is something you can't see, you can only feel, because it's the astral plane. It exists within the astral plane. Everything in the astral plane is made out of vibrations. So if you do astral project, and if you already know how to astral project, you will see beings and people and things that are on the same frequency as you. This is why before you astral project, you need to sort your vibration out before you astral project, because you are projecting your consciousness into this. It's the mind. The mind is the bridge. It can move between realities. You are a observer. You are a observing soul which observes different realities. And the mind is the bridge between all of these different realities. The mind can choose. If you want to project into the astral, you set your mind to it, you can. Okay? So, let's not get off track. The lower astral plane is where demons are. The higher astral plane is where heavenly beings are. Heaven and hell are kind of a real thing. The etheric plane is a powerful substance. The ether. The fifth element that they don't tell us about. If you type in on Google the 5 elements, they will try to remove it with wood or metal, because they don't want you knowing about the ether. Ether is the energy double behind all physical objects. So the ether is very important. It is the 5th element. It is part of the physical world, but it's also part of the astral world. It is on either side. You see how they're showing you the truth in the language? Ether and either are the same word. The ether has 1 foot in the astral and 1 foot in the physical world. It's a substance that connects the physical to the astral world. It is the either. It's on either side of reality. It's on the other side. Other, either, same word. Ether is connecting the physical to the astral plane. It's the world of frequency. Frequencies, EMFs, torus fields are in the etheric plane. It is the energy plane. It's where energy moves through the ether. Okay? So then you have the physical world, the world of effect. Everything you see in the physical world is the effect of the higher planes. Each plane is a product of the plane above. So, and it melts into each plane. The physical plane is the lowest plane, it's the most densest, and the highest is the most fluid. This is the most fluid, this is the most dense. This is where we get the saying, as above, so below from. As above, so below comes from the different planes of reality. And magicians understand this. This is why magicians always say as above, so below. Because they understand if you manipulate the higher planes of reality, you manipulate the lower planes. Because the astral plane is a is a direct copy of the physical world, but in the astral plane. It is mirrored. The physical world is mirrored in the astral plane. They are both the same world, but just different vibrational states of the world. Kind of. It's hard to put this in words, people. So just try and understand. The astral plane is the double. It is whatever happens in the astral plane happens in the physical plane. This is why magic works. This is why demons work. This is why spirit communication works. Because if you manipulate the higher planes, you manipulate the lower planes. As above in the astral, so below. Leonardo da Vinci showing you to look up, pointing up. You gotta look up. He's telling you to change the mind, you change the physical world. You change your emotions, you're on the astral plane, you change the physical world. You change your reality by changing the higher planes. This is the Masonic 11. The two pillars. This is the 11, also symbolizing the two hemispheres of the brain here. But the 11 symbolizes the two mirrors. 11. 11. 9, 11. 9, 11 adds to 11. 9 plus 1 plus 1 equals 11. The Twin Towers were in 11. Flight 11 was hijacked. Because it's a mass ritual within the astral plane. Now, we're going to go deep into that later, and I'll show you these rituals they do in order to manipulate the astral plane. So, this is what the 11 is. It's the mirroring of reality. If you contact spirits and conjure spirits, you can either summon or attract demons and spirits. Summoning is creating a spirit. You create demons. Okay? Like I said here, the mind is the root cause of reality. If you think of if you think of a traumatic event that happened in your life over and over and over and over again for years and years and years, where attention goes, energy flows. The mind is the director of energy. If you are directing energy into the specific emotion, the specific thing that is torturing you in your mind, that will manifest as some sort of being in the astral plane, which is called an elemental. And this elemental being that you have created through your thought forms and emotions will latch onto you and feed off this energy. So it's important that you get your mind right, okay? It's important that you sort that you file the mind and you discipline the mind. Make sure it's only entertaining positive things, because you are quite literally creating your own demons. The word demon has the word mon in it, and if you've watched my videos, you know mon means moon. The moon is your mind, the sun is your soul, the earth is your physical body. Demon is mon means mind, moon is mind. You create demons with your mind. Summoning. Now, this is where the rituals come in. 9/11 was a ritual because everyone was thinking about this big fearing, the death of 9/11. Everyone was thinking about it. And all of their minds thinking about this horrific thing will manifest and summon a negative energy spirit elemental within the astral plane. That's how all of this works. This is why it was a mass ritual. Okay, Chris Brown, new album name 11/11, release date on the 11/11. This will be my 11th album and contain 11 songs. All of these people know the occult. This is Hermes Trismegistus with the star of Saturn, the six-pointed star, as above, so below. The mirroring of reality, physical and astral, the two Masonic pillars. So, as above, so below. What's above us? The stars. The stars are connected to the astral plane. This is why we call them stargates. When we dream, we are experiencing these different realities. And what are stars? They tell in the Bible, it says Genesis 1:14. And God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs." Signs translates to things to come. Why things to come? The stars tell the future. Why? And why do we say as above, so below? As above us is the astral plane and the etheric plane. As above, so below. Whatever happens in the stars happens on Earth. The stars are connected to the astral plane. Above us is the astral plane. We are a star in a physical body. This is why we say Mr., Sister, stir equals star. The E and the A are interchangeable. We are stars, and the stars are the start of our incarnation. We start in the stars, same root word, and we descend through the 7 energies, which are our 7 chakras. Then we enter the heart of the soul system. The heart rearranged spells Earth. And this is the true cosmology. Here's the Masonic cosmology. This is Masonic now. Here's the firmament. Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters to divide the waters from above, from the waters that below. Genesis 1:6. The firmament, firmament comes from the word firma, Latin, I'm pretty sure, which means firm. When something is firm, meaning it's stable, it does not move, it is firm. The firmament is firm. So, is the firmament Genesis 1:6. What does he say? Genesis 1:3, sorry. Let there be light. This is before the sun and the moon was created. Let there be light. Before the sun and the moon was created, light was appeared. So what's that tell you? This is a holographic projection from some sort of light being, some sort of projector. And that projector is the all-seeing eye you see in the Masonic cosmology. This is the all-seeing eye projecting the light beams. Let there be light. Everything is made out of light. The universe is created out of light waves. The torus field is one unit of light. The light projecting this reality is Polaris. Okay, the famous all-seeing eye. Now, what else? Then we have after let there be light in Genesis 1:16, and God made the 2 great lights. This is the sun and the moon, electric, magnetic, male and female. Then we have the Masonic checkered board, the black and white symbolizing dualities within the dualistic reality we are in, spirit and matter, light and matter, rest and motion, positive and negative, good and evil. Everything's dualistic here. Okay? And it's a dance. The universe is a dance between flickering of white and black light, which is the torus field. We're not going to go over that, but this is all connected to the astral plane. This is the true cosmology. The astral plane cannot work on a spinning monkey ball in the middle of space. Does not work. Cannot work. It's impossible. Okay? Impossible. So, even in the Quran, it says, Allah has made the earth for you as a carpet, flat. Quran 15:19. And the earth we have spread out like a carpet, set there on mountains, firm and immovable. It is immovable. In the Quran, it also says 65:12, it is Allah who has created the 7 heavens of the earth. The 7 heavens meaning the 7 layers of heaven, the 7 planets. And Psalms 104:5, he set the earth on its foundations and it can never be moved. Never. So here you see in Isaiah 40:22, he sits enthroned above the circle of the earth and its people are like grasshoppers. He stretches out the heavens like a canopy and spreads them out like a tent to live in. We live in a tent. This is the tent. The projection of light. Here you see an ancient picture here. Here you see the ethereal barrier, meaning the firmament, the etheric barrier, and you see his head popping out. Why is his head popping out? Because your head is heaven, your heel is hell. Your head has access to the astral plane. This is why your head is heaven. The pineal gland, when stimulated, has access to project itself, project consciousness into the astral plane. Here you see another ancient picture here with the Masonic Royal Arch, with the zodiac here, the zodiac on the top, arching, because there's a firmament above us. Here's God in the brain. Consciousness is God. Here you see the Masonic Royal Arch, symbolizing the firmament. George Washington above the Masonic Royal Arch. These are the stars. This is Polaris projecting reality. Here's ancient churches with the dome. Polaris projecting reality with Jesus. Disney World is under the dome. The seven layers of heaven, ancient paintings, all depict if you go and look at the ancient paintings, they'll all depict the firmament, the arch above us. This is where we get interesting. The Masonic Royal Arch has the 6-9, which is Cancer. The constellation Cancer, which is 6-9 is associated with portals, because CERN is the 6-9. Okay, CERN is opening portals. They're trying to create a portal to the other side. Cancer has the word CERN within it, so there's a link between Cancer and the opening, the firmament opening above us to ascension. Here you see the Masonic Arch with the Royal Arch and the light and the opening. Here you see the light and the opening. This is the opening of the firmament. Here's the Hebrew cosmology with Sheol, the underworld, and the opening. So Cancer is definitely some sort of portal in and out of this reality. I'm just connecting dots here. Now, we're going to go change a bit now. These celebrities that you are seeing they have not sold their soul to Satan, okay? They have not sold their soul to Satan. Satan is a demonic, low vibrational energy that has been summoned over the thousands and thousands and thousands of years of evil occult arts. So since Babylon was summoning this demonic energy, and this demonic energy in the astral plane will grow and grow and grow. It has no form. It has no physical form. Okay? But you can see it in the rappers. If your third eye is open, you can see clearly that these people are demonic. You can sense the energy that they're manifesting. Selling your soul is not what you've been told. It is gaining, because your soul is pure love, okay? Your soul does not want to do anything bad. So when you sell your soul, you're gaining physical gain, you're gaining physical wealth, for example. Like for these rappers, they will be given millions of pounds because the people in control of the music industry, which is the dark occultists trying to brainwash the masses, the people in charge, they're dark occultists. They understand Satan and the energy. They are satanic energy, which has been summoned in the astral plane. They see that they have influence over the masses, so they will go to them and say, I will give you this amount of money forever if you manifest this satanic, demonic energy through the music and through social media to blind the masses, to brainwash the masses into this demonic energy. Because when you listen to music is frequency. Whatever you listen to, you become that frequency. So if you're listening to these people, they're throwing energy, this demonic, satanic energy that they sold out to. Soul, same word. When you sold something, you've got your soul involved. They have exchanged money, physical gain, so that they manifest this satanic energy within the astral plane and through the music, through the videos, through social media, to keep us in this vibrational frequency, in this low state of consciousness. This is what it actually is. It's not, you're not selling your soul to some sort of devil. This satanic energy has no physical form in it is formless in the astral plane. It's a summoned energy. Now, the root chakra is red. This is why the devil is red, because it symbolizes the animal nature of man. When you are operating off your root chakra, you will kill, you will fight, you will do anything to survive, because it's all about survival mode in the root chakra. They want you keeping in that fighting mode, that surviving mode, so that you are manifesting this low vibrational frequency, this satanic energy, this demonic red energy. This is why the devil is red. And the devil has a tail with the red arrow pointing down, because it symbolizes your light body. This is your Merkaba. Your Merkaba is your light body. Mer equals light, Ka equals spirit, Ba equals body. Merkaba, this is the devil's tail pointing down, the descension, your heel, up to your heel, hell. Ascension to heaven, head. You see, this is the all-seeing eye with the illumination coming off it, your head, when you're illuminated. The Merkaba is your celestial sphere to portray different planes of reality. It is the vehicle of ascension. It's your light body. It's in the word Kabbalah. Kabbalah. Ka, spirit, Ba, body, La, light. Same thing. Kabbalah. Merkaba. Same thing. It's all about the light body. This light body sees different realities. So when you see the goat in the music industry, it's this satanic summoned energy that's been summoning for thousands of years within the astral plane. When it becomes to the physical plane, it will manifest through different things. A goat, an owl, Satan, Moloch, Baal, same deity, same demonic energy that's been summoning in the astral plane. And this is why the Baphomet has a goat head. Drake's new album is the goat. The Polo G, the Masonic G, with the goat. And here's Rilo Rodriguez in the mirror, with the goat in the mirror and him in his physical body. It symbolizes, the mirror symbolizes the astral plane, because he's manifesting the goat, the demonic energy. He's sold out to the demonic energy, and in the physical plane, he's his physical body. The mirroring, the Masonic 11, the mirroring of reality, the astral and the physical. And what do you call them when they're an amazing rapper, the best rapper? You call them the goat, because the goat, you're the goat because you're manifesting the goat energy, the satanic, demonic energy within the astral plane. So Baal, Moloch, all the same thing. Because in the astral plane, if you want to gain spirits to come to you and communicate you, in the physical world, if you want to communicate with spirits, you have to gain their attention. You can either gain their attention or come together and agree to create some sort of being, which is Satan. Okay. You can, like I said earlier, you can create these beings, you can summon them or attract them. One way to attract them is sacrificing. In order for you to become God, man, to turn to God, you have to sacrifice your life. You have to sacrifice, not drinking, not doing things, not doing anything demonic, not doing anything bad, not eating meat. You have to sacrifice yourself to become the light. However, if you want quick, instant gains in the physical world, you can sacrifice something else to communicate with these spirits, because these demonic energies feed off demonic energy, your demonic energy. So these dark occultists will give away babies, they'll sacrifice, torture babies so that they can communicate with these spirits for physical exchange. Yes, you can do this. These powerful spirits, these powerful demons can give you powers. They can give you certain things. And this is what they are doing. They're summoning and attracting the demonic energy. This is why, trafficking is one of the most, Balenciaga. Baal is the demonic energy in the astral plane, which requires child sacrifice for his presence. Balenciaga, and they were trafficking children. They were trafficking, killing them, and offering them to the spirits. This is what they are doing. Balenciaga. It's in the name. Here you see, you can see here a stick man with two horns. The goat, obviously, it's all the same deity. Baal, the goat. Moloch, is Moloch the owl, the Egyptian owl, because it comes from the owl of Moloch, which is Baal, which is Satan, all the same demonic energy. And it's on the dollar bill, a tiny dollar bill, on the $1 bill. All the same thing. Bohemian Grove, they worship the big owl, Moloch. It's all the same thing. It's all one big demonic energy which has been summoning in the astral plane. And it's trying to take over Earth, the physical plane. That's what it's doing. So I hope you all gained a deeper understanding of the astral plane and what's actually going on in the world. Please leave a comment if you can to help the algorithm. Drop a like if you like this content. And hope you all learned something today. And God bless you all. Thank you all. What is up, people? How are we all doing? Today, we're talking about the flat earth cosmology. So let's jump straight into this. Please drop a follow and leave a like to help the algorithm. So, we live in a torus field. Everything's made out of torus fields. And every torus field has motion. It's what it is. It's the motion of energy. And every torus field has a center, which is the black hole. It's a womb of creation. It's counter space. Now, this is why the North Pole is magnetic, because the center of this torus field is the most magnetic part, the strongest part of the field. So this is why all compasses will point you to the center. And the Earth's magnetic field is spread across the whole of the Earth. And it's spinning, as you can see here. It's like a tornado at the center. And this tornado is the force which is spinning the sun and the moon around us. You got the sun, the moon, Polaris, just like in the Masonic cosmos here. The sun, the moon, Polaris, the all-seeing eye. Now we'll get into Polaris a bit later, but the sun is the magnetic force. Is the electric force. Because every field is electromagnetic. Now, the sun is electric. It's positively charged. It's going to give you energy. It's feeding energy. The moon is more magnetic energy, which is taking your energy away from you. And this is why you become sleepy when the moon comes out. Because it's taking away your energy. So, these two forces is the balance. It's the yin and yang. It's the balance. Everything in this creation is balanced. Because the torus field is the Earth is the plane of inertia, the 0 point within the field. Because physical matter is a result of two opposing forces equalized on the plane of inertia. And that is where matter crystallizes into physical results. And this physical plane is the plane of inertia, planet Earth. And at the center of this plane is the black hole, the womb of creation. And outside of this black hole gives birth to light. So the torus field is constantly rotating, going into counter space, the black hole, and then out of counter space, gives birth to the white hole, white light. You see? So it's going around, black hole, birth again, black hole, birth again. And it just keeps going around. It's an infinite cycle of energy. And this is where the infinity sign comes from. This is the motion, this is the force which is creating everything to spin inside of this circle. Okay? And it's making the stars spin. It's making the sun and moon spin around us, around this center point. Now here you see Horus and Set. Horus and Set putting their feet inside of this dome. This is the royal arch, the arch of the dome above us. It's like you see in the Masonic cosmos, the royal arch of Freemasonry. This is the dome above us, the firmament that the Bible talks about. You see, they're putting their feet in because Set symbolizes the moon and Horus is the sun. Horizon, Horus. Horus is rising, the sun. So they're both putting their feet around this center magnetic pole, which is the pole, North Pole. And above the North Pole, you have Polaris, the pole of electromagnetic energy. You see? And this is how we get the sun and the seasons. Because the sun, for us, when it becomes summer, it's on the Tropic of Cancer. Then it spirals outwards, going out and out and out, then goes to the Tropic of Capricorn. That's winter for us. Then it comes back in and creates summer again. So it's constantly spiraling around this center magnetic North Pole. You see? So this roof above our heads is the firmament, and this is what they've taken off of us. They haven't physically taken it, but mentally they have taken this away from you. It's a female energy, and this is what the Egyptians called Nut, the sky god Nut. And this is the womb. We are inside God's creation, God's womb, and the woman's womb when she has a baby is a microcosm of this, because everything inside of this creation is micro, macro. It's a reflection of the bigger things, as above, so below. So the dome above our heads is the dome we are in when we are a baby. And you can see the sacred geometry of it is the exact same. It's the dome. And when we are inside of the womb, the woman, the sacred maker, which is the M, the Masonic M, this is the Gmail symbol. The Masonic M is maker, mason, matter, male. She delivers the male, you see. She delivers the male because it's the maker, the female, the magnetic. The woman is magnetic in nature. The male is electric in nature. So when we are in this womb, the female, we are being fed by the center umbilical cord, by the center of the mother's stomach. We're connected to the center of the woman's stomach, just like we are when we are in the earth. The center is where the aurora borealis is being emitted from, the electromagnetic aurora borealis, the northern lights. This is our spiritual umbilical cord, connecting us to counter space, connecting us to the realms beyond this world. Because at the center of every torus field is counter space. And at the center of the earth is our spiritual umbilical cord, and this is the earth's belly button, as you see. As above, so below. We had a physical umbilical cord. We have a spiritual umbilical cord, and this gets cut when we die, when we're cut away from the physical reality. You see, here's the ancient Egyptian tablet showing this female. You can see the hair. It's a female above us, because the female energy is nurturing, helping, looking after. And that's exactly what the dome is. It's protecting us. It's the Ark of the Covenant, the Ark covering us. You see? And this is what they've taken away from us. By you believing in space, it completely destroys the idea of this being a sacred creation. They've taken the roof off your head, whether if you believe in space, you believe that there's chaos, there's planets, there's asteroids that could kill us at any moment. But this isn't true. They've made you fear your own creation that you're inside of. They've made you fear what's above you. You see, and it's to hide the power of astrology, the power of the lights in the firmament, which are constantly flowing through the ether. These powers which are above us are sending rays down to the earth, which are influencing our psychology, and how we behave. And this is what astrology is. It affects human consciousness. It interacts with our consciousness. And there's a different energy every day because the planets are in different houses, different alignments. And this is, we'll go into this a bit deeper later on. So the world tree, this magnetic north pole, the pole of electromagnetic energy, was symbolized as a tree, the great tree at the center of the earth. You see? And this tree is symbolized everywhere. You can see here how the center person, this Egyptian person, is holding up the sky. This is the North Pole, the hyperboloid, at the center of every Taurus field. And this tree was in the Mayan cosmology. This is an ancient depiction. This is the Taurus field. Here's the plane of inertia. Here's the center tree. Here's the tree in the center, the magnetic North Pole, the woman holding the stars. Is the Hindu with the two birds symbolizing the sun and the moon revolving around this center tree. The Mayan tree, his Horus and Set around the North Pole. They all knew this flat earth cosmology. They knew these secrets. It's so sacred you understand the creation that you're inside of. Because if you don't, you'll be led astray. You don't know where you are. You're lost. You see? And here's the Masonic art, with the rays of the stars coming down with the tree in the center. So it was personified as a tree. And we are in Asgard, Midgard, the middle garden, where there's good and evil. So the 7 layers of heaven, which is talked about in the Quran. Each planet has a different layer of the firmament, and this is the 7 layers of heaven, and these are our 7 layers of the energy centers in our body. So we start in the stars. So we are stars in a physical body. And this is why we say Mister, Sister, Fraudster, Sinister. Stir is star, and we are in the stars. And our star descends into the soul system, not solar system. And as we descend into the soul system, we enter Satan's kingdom, Satan's world. As it says in the Bible, Satan is the god of this world. Well, if you've been into my research for a while, you know Satan is Saturn. Saturn's world, because Saturn's the outermost ring. He's the Lord of the Rings. And you enter his kingdom, the kingdom of time, and this is why Saturn's the time god. As soon as you go past the rings of Saturn, you're now in the soul system. You're now in time. You're now bound by space and time. And you're bound to the earth plane, the heart. Earth is heart. It's a rearrangement, it's an anagram for heart. And the heart of the electromagnetic color spectrum is green, and that's why the earth is green. And above green is blue, and this is why the sky is blue. In order to go to heaven on the macro scale, you have to go through the blue sky, through the 7 layers of heaven. In order to reach heaven in your body, whilst you're here, you have to go through the blue chakra to your head, which is heaven. It's micro, macro. Everything is micro, macro inside of this creation. Is an ancient. I think this is a French image, piece of art from the ancient French, with obviously the 7 layers of heaven, which they all depict. And notice how it's like a dome. We'll go into this dome symbolization, the Royal Arch of Masonry, which is next. But these 7 layers of heaven give us the 7 metals, the 7 days of the week, the 7 diatonic tones, the 7 chakras, the 7 everything. It's God's favorite number. And this is why the Masons use the G inside of the compass, because the G is the 7th letter and God starts with G. You see? So it's 7. God is 7. Here's another depiction of the heart, the soul system, the 7 layers of heaven. La Firmamente. You see? La Firmament, with the stars on the outermost layer. Here are the 7 planets. Jupiter, Mars. La Soleil, the sun. La Luna, the moon. So Saturn. So we are in the heart of this soul system. In order to ascend, we need to ascend up our chakra system, reach 144,000 hertz. God consciousness, the God man. You have to unfold God man, master of the mind, mastery of the mind. So, what are the stars? The stars make everything unique. The stars are constantly rotating around the center magnetic North Pole, the tornado at the center, which is stirring everything. It's stirring the ether. The center is the ether, and the 4 elements are born out of this ether. There's 5 elements: ether, spirit, water, air, and earth. The ether gives birth to the 4 other physical elements, which the whole of creation are made out of. About them 4 elements. 4 is the number of stability. You know, a chair, a table has 4 legs. It stables things. It's a foundation, and these 4 elements are the foundation of this creation. You see, and this magnetic North Pole is stirring this, and the 4 vibrational states of the ether are the 4 elements. Now let me get back to the stars. I just wanted to give you that. The stars are being stirred around this center point. Center. It's stirring everything, and they're always in different alignments. Every millisecond, they're moving in different placements of the stars. And the planets are called the 7 wanderers because they're not fixed. The stars are fixed, but the planets are called the 7 wanderers, the 7 layers of heaven, because they move faster and slower than each other. Each planet is slower and faster, has a different rate of speed it's moving. So these alignments are mixing in with the energies of the different 12 constellations. And this is why you have a unique characteristic. You have a unique look, a unique energy, a unique personality. This is because when you were born and you took your first breath, that energy which was in the ether, because the ether is all around you, and energy travels through the ether. The energy that the stars were casting down and the energy that the planets was mixing in with the 12 constellations was in the ether. So when you came out of the womb and you wrote your first breath, because breath is spirit, okay? So that first breath you took, that is the energy that is imprinted within your DNA, your soul. And you reflect that energy, you emit that energy. That's the energy that is with you forever. Until you die. Till this physical body dies off. And that's what the stars are. The stars are giving a unique energy, characteristic, personality to every living thing. Every dog, every cat, every animal has a unique personality because it was born at a different time and place in the sky. Okay? The stars are your destiny. Now, the stars are constantly changing as well. If you look at stars through a telescope, they're constantly changing and forming different forms. You can see here, it looks like water. It looks like light through water because it's the ether above us, a sea of ether. And this light is being emitted through it, and it's just constantly changing, giving different energies, each star. So this is why this is what the zodiac is. It's the expression of energy. It's the expression of the stars. And each constellation has many different personality, different energies, different traits. Each planet has different traits, depending where your planets are, depending what energies you hold. No two person have the same energy. There's no one. It could be similar, but no one's the exact same. It's because of the stars. The stars are never in the exact same split place. The planets are always in different houses. So here's some Royal Arch symbolism. Here's the Royal Arch of Masonry. As it says here, the sun and the moon, the constellations. Here's Cancer, the 7 planets, the 7 stars. Here's the Royal Arch. This is the firmament. Here's the duality. Black and white, duality, good and evil, rest and motion, dielectricity, magnetism. See? So this is what the Royal Arch is. It's symbolizing the cosmic dome above us. The womb we're inside God's womb. And here's George Washington, the Freemason, inside of the Royal Arch. You see? With the G, the Masonic G, God, 7. Here you see another depiction of George Washington with the stars in the dome above his head, his Polaris, the sky vault, Polaris. We'll get into that later. Go inside of all of your ancient churches, you will see the dome. Go to the Vatican, you'll see the dome. All of your ancient churches have this dome because it's the dome above your head. The ancients knew this. This was known. We did not live in space. It was known back then. They all knew. This is Crown Court, which is one of the most important courts in the UK. You can see it's clearly so much Masonic symbolism. You've got the 4 pillars of Masonry. The Royal Arch is like an arrow pointing upwards to Polaris. His Disney World is under a dome. In his Polaris, the Sky Vault. You see? And also 666 in the symbol. There's more. 7 layers of heaven. Here's an ancient depiction. The firmament. Here's the astral plane outside of the firmament. The Royal Arch. You see? It's everywhere. Here's Polaris, the 8-pointed star. Polaris is in between the sun and the moon. It's at the center of the Taurus field. And Polaris corresponds with the pineal gland as well, because it's the all-seeing eye. See? So, is Polaris, the 8-pointed star, which is at the very top. It's the very center. It's on top of the North Pole. And it's an 8-pointed star that's always symbolized as an 8-pointed star. Here you see the Vatican. The Vatican is a giant key with an 8-pointed star. See, it's a key. Here's the dome. Here's the Space Delta, the USA Space Delta logos. Here you see the Egyptian god looking from the center of the North Pole, looking upward to an 8-pointed star, Polaris. An arrow pointing up to Polaris. Here's another, the bear holding a key with an arrow up to Polaris. 7 holds the key to Polaris. Here's an eagle holding a key above the North Pole to Polaris. Polaris, and here's another one. There's another bird, like a dragon, holding a key to Polaris. Because Polaris is definitely something to do with leaving this creation. Okay, maybe, I can't say for sure, but maybe it's to do with ascension, and this is why the Vatican hold the key to the 8-pointed star. And this is why the space, well, we all know space is a lie, but they're showing Polaris and its sacred symbology. Maybe it's to do with something leaving this creation, going to another. Here's some North Pole symbolism. As above, so below. See the four seasons of the Big Dipper constellation going around Polaris. This is Polaris, this is the Big Dipper constellation, and this is the swastika. This image gives us the swastika, because all the symbols we use are created in nature. They're created somehow in nature. This is how we get them. As above, so below. This is the map of the North Pole with the 4 rivers looking like the Big Dipper constellation. It's the Masonic, here's the ancient cosmology with the 4, you see the 4 islands, Mayan cosmology, 4 islands. This is the alchemical symbol for Earth, 4 sections. The windows, because the center of the North Pole is a window to another dimension. The 4 lucky 4-leaf clover, which is supposed to be lucky. It's just, it's truth in plain sight. And here's Hitler looking at 2 flat Earth maps. So this swastika has been used for thousands of years, thousands and thousands of years. And it's symbolic for the most sacred land on this plane, the North Pole. Shambhala. Do some research on Shambhala, people. It's a it's a Hindu mythology about the sacred lands. The sacred lands at the center of the earth. And it's known to be full of enlightened beings. And it's all symbolized at the center. You can see their paintings of Shambhala. It's all at the center, the North Pole. And it's known to be the most godly place ever, because it takes you to a portal to the higher places. And maybe this is something to do with Polaris, connecting you to this sacred land at the very center. But anyways, people, thank you all for tapping in. Hope you all learned something. Have an amazing day. Please follow, subscribe, like, all the links in the description for the courses, the PDF. Please have an amazing day. God bless. How are we doing, people? It's Revival of Wisdom. We're back today talking about sun worship. Okay? And please enjoy. Sit back and enjoy the video. First thing we need to understand is that the sun is the risen Savior. It's the light of the world. Without the sun, we have nothing. Now, the sun is the Son of God. We didn't make the sun. No one owns the sun. But who created the sun? Obviously, the Creator created the sun. Therefore, it is the Son of God. And that is what Jesus is symbolizing in the Bible. The Bible is a metaphorical story. That's why it's called the greatest story ever told. Because it is a story about the sun, the zodiac. It's about you, the systems in the body. It's about everything that is sacred in this creation. Now you can see the suns behind Jesus' head in all of the ancient portraits. Even the ones that are more modern, you still see a sun on the back of his head. Because he is the sun. He's the light of the world, our risen Savior. And this is what Christians are lost, because they don't realize it's a symbolic story, and they think Jesus was a historical person. He's not a historical person. Okay? This is what we need to get out of our mind. This wasn't a historical person. It's the Son, our risen Savior. The Son is the soul. It's the soul of this creation. Because what is a soul? A soul is pure life force, pure energy. Whatever a soul inhabits, it gives life to. Like our soul feeds our body. The sun feeds the earth, because the sun is a soul, and that's why the ancients called it Sol. Because it's the soul, and it's in you, and it's the light of the world. It's the light of everything. It gives life to all things. Here's Jesus and his 12 disciples. The 12 disciples symbolize the 12 zodiac signs. Aries, it rules the head region, because the 12 zodiac constellations rule specific regions of your body. Aries, the ram, you have a cerebrum in your head. This is Aries on the head of the table. His Gemini rules the arms and the lungs. The two twins, Gemini. He's holding up 2 hands for the 2 hands and arms. The twins. Cancer has a knife in his hand. It's not so clear, but he has a knife in his hand. Cancer is the crab. Crabs have claws. And he's pointing at Virgo's Adam's apple, saying there's no Adam's apple there. It's a woman. Who's the 6th sign? The 6th sign is Virgo, the Virgin. The only woman in the painting. Now notice how there are 3 people in 4 groups. For the 4 seasons and for the 3 months and 3 zodiac signs in each season. Spring, summer, fall, winter. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John with the suns on the back of their heads. Because it's the 4 states of the sun. The 4 states of the sun. Now, 6th sign, Virgo, the Virgin. The only woman in the painting with no Adam's apple. Then we have the sun, Jesus, red and blue. Red shift, blue shift. Electromagnetism. The ancients knew this. He's got one hand open, one hand down, because the sun gives and retrieves. The sun rises and it falls. It gives, then pulls away. That's what the sun does, and that's what he's doing. His arms are out, symbolizing the rays of the sun, casting down onto the earth, giving and then receiving. Libra, his 2 hands are equal. He's holding his arms out equally, because Libra is the 2 balanced scales. Libra is when the sun is balanced between the summer and the winter. It's being judged. The sun isn't balanced. That's what Libra is, the 2 scales. Capricorn is the goat. Goats have 2 horns, and you can see the 2 horns on his head here. See? So this is astrology. This what Leonardo da Vinci is depicting here. It's astrology. And he knew the story of the Bible is all astrology. It's all based on astrology. The Son of God, the real Son. Now here are some Bible verses. I am the light of the world. Obviously, that's the sun. What other light is there that lights up the world? The moon can't do it. It's the sun, the one and only Son, our risen Savior. Because if the sun didn't rise, we'd all be dead. So it's our risen Savior. And it dies for our sins every night and then gets reborn every day. Now Jesus calms the storm. Mark 4:35-41. The disciples are all on a boat and there's a heavy storm. But Jesus is asleep. The disciple says, Jesus is asleep. We need to awake him. They wake up Jesus, and Jesus got up and rebuked the wind and said to the waves, quiet, be still. Then the wind died down and it was completely calm. Well, when Jesus was asleep, this is the sun not being risen. It's not risen yet. Because in the night times, that's when the storms happen on the sea, in the ocean. And when they awake Jesus, Jesus rises because he's the sun. He rises and everything calms. Because when the sun comes, the storms go. You see? So it's the sun. It's all about the sun. Here's another, Luke 22:10. A disciple asked Jesus, when will we know it's the end times? And Jesus says, as you enter the city, a man carrying a jar of water will meet you. Follow him to the house that he enters. Well, this is clearly talking about astrology, the topic that Christians think is satanic, when they don't realize the whole thing's based on astrology. Because the end times is the end of Pisces, which is the two fish, which is the age we've just gone out of. And you can see all these ancient churches here with two fishes, because they knew it was the age of Pisces. There's an ancient photo, artwork with the two fish, Pisces. And the end times, as it talks about in the Bible, when Christians think the world's going to end or something. But no, it's just the end of Pisces. As you enter the city, a man carrying a jar will meet you. Follow him to the house. The house is the zodiac sign that he enters. And the zodiac sign is Aquarius, because that's what it is, a man carrying the water. We know this is astrology because that is a woman's job in the ancient times. In the ancient times, the woman used to get the water. You would never see a man collecting water back then. That was the woman's job, whilst the man builds the houses, for example. You see, so we know it's talking about astrology because astrology is the man holding the bucket of water. It's the end of Pisces. Now we are in Aquarius. And of course, Luke 24:36, the risen Savior, the sun. Now the sun is also born on the 25th of December, a virgin, just like Horus, Mithra, Buddha, Krishna, Hermes, and thousands of other gods, all born on the 25th of December. Well, it's because the sun moves 1 degree northward on the 25th of December. And on the 22nd to the 24th, it stays in the same degree because it's moving south. But then on the 22nd, it stays in the same degree on the Southern Crux constellation. And the ancients called this the sun dies on a cross, because the cross is the Crux constellation, the Southern Cross. And it stays on that same degree for 3 days on the cross. The sun dies on a cross, and then on the 25th, moves 1 degree northward, bringing back the summer, the light, the warmth, the growth of crops. And this is the sun being reborn again, a virgin, because it's pure. And here's Mithra, another sun god before Jesus was around, before Christianity. It was Mithraism, and Mithra, Ra is Ra, the sun god, Egypt. It's all about Ra, the sun. You can see the crown of thorns on Jesus' head, symbolizing the rays of the sun. And here are the rays of the sun on the back of Mithra's head. Krishna, the sun. Buddha, the sun. Horus, horizon. All born virgins, all did miracles, all resurrected. Dead for 3 days. Well, here he is, dead for 3 days on the cross. And resurrected, because it's the most ancient religion ever been on the face of the earth, the worship of the sun. And we should worship the sun, because without the sun we are nothing. The sun feeds us, feeds the earth, feeds everything. Without the sun we are nothing. It's been reversed, and now we're worshipping man. When we're worshipping a man called Jesus, was never real. It's all about the sun, the Most High, the most powerful, potent celestial body in the sky, the orb that feeds us every day. It dies for our sins and rises every day. It's the sun. Now on the Holy Communion Day, it's the worship of the sun. They give out mini suns. Here's Jesus holding a sun. And they raise the sun on Sunday, because they go to worship their sun god on Sunday. Not Saturn Day, not Moon Day, Monday, but on Sunday when the sun is exalting. And they hold suns up above their heads because the sun rises. They're symbolizing the sun rising above their heads as Savior. It's the sun. It's the Holy Communion Day. And here's Jesus giving a piece of himself to the children. It's the sun, the light. Judas was known as a backbiter, a backstabber, because he stabbed Jesus in the back. He betrayed Jesus. Well, this is just another astrological story about the constellation Scorpio, because the Scorpio is the J. Looks like a J. J for Judas, the scorpion, the backbiter. Scorpions backbite. They bite with their back. And what does Judas do? He betrays Jesus by kissing him to let the warriors know who they need to get. So he kisses Jesus, and Jesus gets stabbed in the back. Well, when you get stung or bit by a scorpion, they leave like a kiss. So Judas kisses him and gets betrayed. Well, this is because the sun, when it hits Libra, it's balanced. The sun is balanced because it comes through summer. Now the sun's starting to die. The sun's starting to die. It hits Libra. And then as soon as it hits the Scorpio, it gets betrayed because now the sun has to fall to winter, and Saturn is there waiting to take over the darkness of the winter. So he gets stabbed in the back by Scorpio. Judas, the scorpion, the backstabber. You see, it's an astrological story. Here's Mary. Mary means marry, which means pure. The sun is pure. No one gave birth to the sun but the God. And it's born every day. It's born every day on every year. It's born pure. There was no controversy. There was no, activity for the sun to be born. It's pure. Now, the 7 metals come from the 7 planets. The sun gives you gold, and this is why the sun is golden. It looks gold. And this is why the banks are backed by gold, because gold is the most valuable metal, because it's the sun, the most valuable celestial orb in the sky, in the heavens. Well, here's Jesus, another ancient symbol of him being crucified on the cross with the big sun, the Southern Cross constellation. The sun dies on the cross constellation. And if you go to the old etymology dictionaries, you will see sun and son is the same word. They come from the same etymology roots. You can use them for no matter what, but they've been confused today. But if you go back to the old dictionaries of etymology, they are interchangeable. You can use them. Son, sun, sol, it's all the same thing. The 12 disciples, 12 brothers of Joseph, 12 tribes of Israel, 12 breastplates on the stones, because it's all the 12 astrological signs. They could have used any other number, but there's 12. Because 12 is the mind, which is God. 7 is the number of matter, which is man. 7 energy centers in the body. 12 cranial nerves in the brain, because it's the mind. 12 is the 12ness. The zodiac is literally the mind of God, the signs of God. Now here we see here, Job 38, 31 to 33. Can you lead forth a constellation in the season? He's asking you, can you read the sky? Can you read the heavens? Canst thou bring forth the Mazzaroth in its season? Mazzaroth means 12 signs, the zodiac. Why did they translated every single Hebrew word in the Bible into English, but they decided to leave out Mazzaroth? Why? It's because if that said zodiac, Christians would have a different view on the Bible, but they leave that out. But Mazzaroth actually means the 12 signs, the zodiac, and the stars means sign. The word stars means sign because the stars are signs, things to come, which is off. in Hebrew, which means sign, things to come. You see a sign on the road, it's something coming. But God is saying, no, what does he say? To qualify as a director, a judge of man's life on earth, one must be able to govern the heavenly bodies that rule the earth. It's telling you to read the heavens. We need to read the heavens. Astrology, the 12 zodiac signs, the mind of God. It's telling you, read the Mazzaroth, read the zodiac, because they are things to come in your life. They are signs. It's not satanic, it's made by God. God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs. Signs are things to come. The 12 zodiac signs. It's all about astrology. Here's Mary holding the sun. His son, her son. It's the sun in the sky. The one and only, the most high. The soul, the solo because it's on its own. The most powerful, Ra, radiance. Here's the Pope holding the sun. All three popes holding the sun, because they're sun worshippers and they know the true meaning and origins behind Christianity. Sun worship. Here's the Vatican is a sundial. Yes, this is literally a clock. Your watch is a sundial. It's got 12 sections on it for the 12 zodiac signs. 12 hours, 12 Horuses. Now here you see Jesus walking on water. Well, it's the sun, and here's the beard of the sun. Here's the pyramid of the sun, the illuminated one, the all-seeing eye, the sun. Here's the Ankh. The sun creates these symbols. The ancients knew this. Now, when you see these headdresses, these are actually the days of precession of the sun. Aries, Cancer, Libra. It's all about the sun. Here's some more sun worship going back to Egypt. Ra, Horus, Osiris, and Set. Jesus and Satan is Horus and Set. The sun and Saturn. Saturn rules the winter, Satan. Jesus, the sun, the light of the world, rules the summer, rules the day. Satan's the night, Saturn's the night, the sun is the day. The evil brother, Satan. Well, Horus comes, this is where we get the word hours from. There are 12 Horuses. The sun moves in 12 Horuses, 12 hours. Where's Horus? What hour is it? Where's Horus? His Ra, 12 noon, Ra, radiates, powerful, the most high sun. That's why he has a sun on the top of his head. These are the 4 states of the sun. Set, sunset. This is why we say sunset, because the sun is setting. His sunset, his Horus, horizon. The Horus is rising, Ra radiating, and the sunset. Then midnight is Osiris. Here's another ancient symbol for the sun, the scarab. Ra, the sun, scarab. It's got the word Ra in it because it's the sun. And here's the sun on top of the scarab with the wings. Because scarabs roll dung up hills, and then they'll let it fall down the hill to gain more matter. To gain more bigger, like a snowball effect. And the ancients saw this as a process of the sun, because the sun climbs up the hill and then it falls. So they used the scarab to symbolize the process of the sun. The sun climbs and falls. Here's an ancient Egyptian cat cutting off the head of the serpent. But the cat is cutting off the head of the serpent, symbolizes the sun cutting off the nighttime. When the sun rises, it cuts off the nighttime. It cuts off the serpent. The serpents represent darkness or evil. And there's some more symbology of the sun and the heavens, the arch, the royal arch, the firmament, the sun inside the firmament. These are all ancient churches, and they all depict the firmament with the sun inside. Is the ancient cosmology, you see, because it's all about the sun. Everything's about the sun, because the sun is our orb made for us to sustain life in this, inside of this creation, inside of this firmament, the royal arch of heaven. Here's the Freemasons depicting it. Here's the Masonic royal arch. But you can even see the zodiac signs. Here's Cancer, the checkered board. It's the royal arch of the firmament. Obviously, they don't want to tell you that. You live in space, apparently. Some more sun worship. Here's the beard of the sun on the water. They all have this long beard. And why do they say amen? Amen at the end of every prayer. Amen is a sun god, a creator god. It's all about the sun. So thank you all, people. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all gained some knowledge and insight. Please give me a follow, drop a comment, drop a like. Have a good day. Love you all.
What's good, people? We're back with another video. This is going to just be a quick video. Manifestation, magic, bending reality. So let's jump straight into this. So you have a conscious and a subconscious part of your mind. The conscious is what you're conscious of, what you're actually doing, where you can choose or not. However, the subconscious is the part of your brain which is automatic. So all of the systems in your body, like the digestive system, your heartbeat, these are automatically being ran. And you do not have to tell these systems to do anything. You do not have to consciously tell your heart to beat. It's automatically doing it. And this is what the subconscious mind is controlling. It's like the dark aspect of your brain or your mind. It is the way bigger aspect of your mind. Okay, it controls all the systems in your body. Okay, and this is where all of your programs are. So when you're in it, from your childhood, what you've learned in school, all of these things are being kept in your subconscious. Maybe traumas and stuff like that. So the subconscious is the female aspect, and the conscious is the male aspect, because the male is all about action and doing, and the female is more about creation, creativity, intuition. So you have a right and a left hemisphere of your brain, and these are obviously male and female. The right side of your brain is your female. It's to do with creativity, imagination, intuition, insight. Okay, and this is one of the most important sides of the brain. This side of the brain is the most attacked by the elites, whatever you want to call them. This side is one of the most important, because obviously your intuition is a massive part of reality. And if you don't have intuition, then you lose track of the things around you. You can't consciously feel if things are wrong or right. They don't want you to have intuition or creativity or imagination. They want you in the left side of your brain, which is just reasoning, logic, and basic things. So they just want you to tell you what you want, tell you what to learn, and then that's it. They don't want you thinking for yourself, which is the right side of the brain. So whatever the conscious side of your mind impresses the subconscious side of your mind. So if you do affirmations, for example, if you consciously do affirmations every day, you're reprogramming your subconscious mind. You're impressing a vibration and a word into your subconscious mind, and therefore it will reprogram it. So the male and female aspect are symbolized by the Star of David as well. The male being the upside triangle, the female being the downside, connected all in one, because we both have male and female energy. So every thoughts are electric, which is the male aspect. Emotions are magnetic, which is the female. each thought creates a wave of vibration in all directions. So think of it like a water drop in a pool, but it going out in every single direction. It's not just flat. And these thoughts have a certain frequency, has a certain vibration. That vibration has a certain frequency. And this affects your aura. Every thought, every emotion directly impacts your aura and the strength of your aura. So if you're angry all the time, your aura in the astral plane will look red. However, if you're happy, it'll be more like blue and green. So it's very important. Your electromagnetic field is created out of your emotions and thoughts, and that affects reality because you're 60% water, and frequency and vibration create certain patterns and has a certain effect on water. We'll get into that after this slide. So each thought that people are thinking around you, you are actually subconsciously picking up these thoughts because it's emitting this vibration in all directions. So this is why you can pick up thoughts of other people on the odd occasion. However, when you're more in tune with your intuition, your right side of your brain, you can start to pick up on vibrations, thoughts, and other people's auras. You can pick up on the energy once your third eye is open, and you know whether you should be in that environment or not. This is what we call an atmosphere. When we go into a room and you can feel the tension, if someone's been arguing, for example, this is the atmosphere, this is the vibrations, these are people's auras emitting these certain frequencies and vibrations. Okay, so our aura is contained of multiple layers. Obviously we have the physical body. This is the electromagnetic layer. However, you have the different planes of existence: the spirit, mental, astral, etheric, and then physical. The physical is the lowest plane of existence. And the physical plane is a product of all of the planes above. So the mental impresses on the astral impresses into the etheric, and then the etheric creates the physical object. So the mind is the root cause of reality. The mind is the cause of everything. Your consciousness is pure cause. There's no effect. Everything you see in this reality is the effect. Everything that you experience is the effect, because the root cause was the mind. The decisions you made you experience that certain experience. And that decision was created on the mental plane. And this is just pure thoughts. And thoughts are things. If it exists in your mind, it is a thing. It's a certain frequency. So if you have a certain level of thoughts, if you're thinking positive, for example, you're going to have a strong aura, you're going to have a higher vibration, and that attracts like. Like attracts like when it comes to thoughts and vibrations and electromagnetism. So if you're thinking positive all the time, speaking positive, doing positive, you're then creating a higher vibration, and that's going to attract people on that similar frequency to you. Everything is electromagnetism, frequency and vibration. Everything. You see, so this is why, for example, if I put my hand to a TV screen, if my finger was the same vibration as the TV screen, it would go straight through it. However, the particles in my hand and the particles on the TV screen are two separate vibrations, and this is what causes the friction to stop, and not my finger to go straight through it. So like I said, when you don't feel the vibe of someone, when you don't feel right, you don't really get along with someone, this is a vibration. Your vibrations are not matching, they're not similar, they're two complete different vibrations, and they're not aligning properly. So music has a massive part on this. Music is a massive, massive tool for the elites, because music is frequency. And in 1975, the musical instrument are all tuned to 440 hertz. So Spotify, Apple Music, most of the music on YouTube is all set to 440 hertz. And 440 hertz is not divisible by 3, 6, or 9. And when you can't divide a frequency by 3, 6, or 9, it's not a natural frequency. As you can see here, this is 432 hertz. This makes a nice geometric pattern. However, 440 hertz is a distorted pattern. So when you listen to this, this actually shuts off the whole right side of your brain. Like I said at the start, this is the most attacked side of your brain. It's to do with creativity, imagination, intuition. When you listen to 440 hertz, it shuts off the whole right side of your brain. And obviously shutting off all of these forms of your brain. Music is a very, very powerful tool for the elites because it's the only thing which can enter your soul or your ears without consent, your body without consent. Everything else has to be through consent. You choose whether to eat something, you choose whether to drink something, but frequency, you're going to hear it no matter what. This is why it's so powerful, and music influences the body in many different ways. It's the most powerful imitator of everything. It directly affects all listeners. It directly affects intentions, gestures, movements, and actions. It stimulates your mind, and certain songs, certain catchy songs, can reprogram your subconscious mind, invoking certain emotions. This is why when you listen to slow beat songs, it makes you feel more sad. When you listen to upbeat songs, you feel more energetic. This is because these frequencies have a profound influence on reality and on how you feel. Because like I said, you are 60% water, and as you can see here, each frequency creates a different geometric pattern, and inside of you is 60% water. So like I said, 440 hertz is going to make a distorted pattern in your water, and this is going to have a profound effect on your emotions and your reality. So like I said, health is not just the body. You are made of body, mind, and spirit. You need to look after what you put in your body. You need to look after your spirit and look after your mind. It's very important to keep all these in balance, because once one of these are unbalanced, it affects the other two. So if you're eating wrong, it's going to affect your spirit and mind. If you're thinking wrong, it's going to affect your body and spirit. These are all interlocked. You have to look after them all. So it's very important you understand music. Stop listening to low vibrational music. To be honest, you want to listen to music without any sort of speaking inside of it. You just want pure frequencies, which are the solfeggio scale, like one of these, for example, 432, 528 hertz. These are all good frequencies. It's called the solfeggio scale. And these frequencies make you more in tune with nature. 528 hertz is what the earth vibrates at. So it's very important. And the Rockefellers are the one who changed this to 440 hertz. The Rockefellers, one of the elite families. So if you want to manipulate reality, it's very important to have your chakras aligned and having a high vibration, because the higher your vibration, the more powerful your words and your intentions are on reality. So the lower your vibration, the harder it is to affect reality, because you're in a lower state of consciousness. Like I said, you have the mental, astral, etheric, and physical. Everything is a product of the one above. As above, so below. This is what Hermes Trismegistus was saying in the Egyptian days. This is where it comes from. As above, so below. If you affect above, it directly affects below. So like I said, meditation helps on this, helps align your chakras. Think positive, feel positive. Like I said, your feelings are magnetic, your thoughts are electric. So once you combine these two together, you're then creating an electromagnetic frequency, and that will have profound effect on reality. So the law of cause and effect. The law of cause and effect. Every effect has the root cause. Like I said, your mind is the root cause of everything. Every decision you make is having a different effect on reality. Everything happens for a reason, due to the root cause, which is your mind. You choose everything that happens in your life. Okay? So it's very important you understand this, and you constantly make the right decisions, the good decisions, to have good effects on your reality. You have to be very conscious of this law because nothing escapes this law. This is the law of all consciousness. So think about it. Imagine a massive ball of consciousness. However, off this ball are different sparks, and each one of these sparks are in each and everyone's body. This spark is governed by these laws, the law of cause and effect, the law of correspondence, the 7 Hermetic principles. It's very important you understand this because this mass ball of consciousness is what is obeying these laws, and everyone has this spark of consciousness inside their third eye. And like I said, everyone is the same consciousness. This is why if you do bad onto someone else, that will directly affect your reality. So if you hurt someone, it's going to come back to you in one way or another because you are that same consciousness. This is like a mirror reality. As within, so without. Whatever you feel on the inside, you're gonna see that on the outside. You're gonna experience that reality, whatever you've impressed. So there's different ways to bend reality to your will. This is kind of a sort of magic. So obviously you have black magic, which is manipulating reality to harm and influence others, or to be very selfish. And then you have white magic, which is manipulating reality for the good of humanity. So you do have to be very careful with your intentions, people, when you're trying to manipulate reality, because this is nothing to be played with. If you are manipulating reality for the wrong reason, it's going to come and bite you in the ass in some way or another. Because everything is balanced. Everything balances out in this reality. Nothing escapes the laws. Not one thing escapes the laws. So if you're stealing from yourself, because it's just going to come back in one way or another. Inside of everyone's heart, you know whether you're doing good or wrong. You can feel it when you do something wrong. You can feel it when you do something good. The heart is the center of the torus field. It's balance. And this is why you say follow your heart, because it's the center of the torus field. It's very important to listen to this inner voice inside of you, because that is telling you the right things to do, the good decisions to make. And when you keep following that voice, that good voice inside of you, it takes you to your life path. Very important to follow that voice. However, don't let the ego get in the way of it. Don't care what your friends are going to say. It's very important to understand this. So, you have different ways of manipulating reality. You have sigil magic. This is where you create your own sigil or symbol. You create your own sigil and symbol, and then you charge it. You behind that symbol, you have an intention. So for example, if you want to manifest wealth, you create a sigil which represents what you want. You create that sigil, you draw it out, you charge it, because wherever your attention goes, energy flows. So whatever your attention is, you're sending energy that way. So what you do with your eyes and your hands, you place attention on the sigil. Imagine that it's glowing. Imagine that you're sending energy to the sigil. And then you burn the piece of paper once you've done this. And then after this, you meditate on that symbol. You constantly think about that symbol, because that symbol is the frequency, is the thing that you want to manifest. So that's one way. Or you can just meditate on your reality. So imagine yourself having already what you have. This is what they call a mindset. You must set your mind to the frequency what you want to manifest. Okay? So if you want to manifest wealth, for example, imagine yourself being wealthy. What would it feel like? What would you be doing? Imagine a scene in your mind. Constantly do this, and you're putting out that frequency. Like I said, you must think, because the thoughts are electric, and then you must feel, which is magnetic. Together, this creates an electromagnetic frequency, and this is how you attract things to you. You will attract the certain people to come in your life to bend reality to your will. Okay? Or you've got mirror magic. Stare yourself in the mirror, because a mirror reflects light. It also reflects energy. So you've got to be very careful with what you say to a mirror. You've got to be very, very, very careful, because whatever you send into that mirror is directly sent straight back to you. So if you're thinking negative, you're sending negative energy back straight to you, and that's going to have an effect on your reality. Affirmations are very important, because your words are frequency. Your words are vibrations, and each word you say has a certain frequency. If it's if it's positively charged, it's going to affect you positively. If it's negatively charged, because like I say, your brain and your mind is like the director of energy. That's what your brain is, and it directs energy into certain things. You can either positively charge it or negatively charge it, and this brain is creating your reality constantly. It's manifesting your reality constantly in the present moment. So this is what the government knows. The government know your mind is the root cause of reality. This is why they call themselves a government. Government. The New World Order is not being manifested by them. They are controlling the information. They are controlling your perception of this reality. And they know the mind is the root cause of reality. Therefore, if they control your perception of reality and your information, what you believe, you're going to manifest that information, that perception. So we, the people as a collective consciousness, are the ones manifesting this New World Order. You see, so this isn't black magic. They're actually tricking us into manifesting their own their plans, this New World Order. You see, this is how smart these people are. They know how to get around the laws of reality. They know how to bend reality to their will without facing the consequences. They're getting humanity to do it. You see, there is a collective consciousness. As like I said, we all have that same spark of consciousness, right? So as a collective consciousness, we are on a very low vibration at the moment. However, we are waking up rapidly. There are more and more people waking up at the moment, and light always chases away the shadow. Light is a lot more powerful than darkness, you see. So one person waking up has a massive effect than one person being asleep. It has a profound effect. Because like I say, the light always chases away the darkness. It's more powerful. The light is always more powerful. High vibrations are more powerful than lower. So that's it for this, people. I hope you all enjoyed. This is a short, quick video. God bless you all. What is good, people? It's Revival of Wisdom. I hope you're all doing well. And this video is how to raise your holy oil or your kundalini. Let's get straight into this. So this is a monthly cycle. Every month, when the moon is in your zodiac sign, this oil is released. Now, the moon is in control of monthly cycles. For women, it's the menstrual cycle, and as well this holy oil cycle. The moon changes sign every 2.5 days and passes through the zodiac signs in 27 days. So the moon tells the day, the sun tells the time, the stars tell the month. This reality is a massive clock, if you like to say. It's a cycle. Okay, the moon controls the night, emotions, water, fluids, and the mind. Okay, so this oil is produced in the claustrum. It's produced in the claustrum, which is here, right? This is where you get Santa Claus from. Now, the claustrum is at the center of the brain, and it is next to the pineal gland and the pituitary gland. Once it starts in the claustrum, this is the holy present. This is the present that Santa gives to us, Santa Claus. And it goes to the pituitary gland and the pineal gland. And what's connected to the pituitary gland and the pineal gland is the Ida and the Pingala. The Pingala is the pineal gland's nerve, which is the honey, which is the positive charge, electric, and the pituitary is the Ida nerve, which is the magnetic charge. This is the milk, the land flowing with milk and honey. This is the brain, the heaven, heaven, okay? And it travels down the spine using these two nerves, these electromagnetic charge. And this is what the ancients symbolized with the two serpents wrapped around the spinal cord, the Ida and the Pingala. And this travels down to the sacrum or the solar plexus. Okay, so once it's here, okay, the spine is an elongation of the brain. So the spine is pretty much the brain. It's an extension of it. And it's kind of a microcosm of how we descended from heaven to physical reality, to physical matter, which is our consciousness has done. Our consciousness has descended from heaven into physical matter. And this is a microcosm of it. Okay. So once we're in the sacrum bone, this holy oil, like I've just explained, this holy oil starts in the Santa claustrum, goes down the chimney to the sacrum. This is the sacrum, the solar plexus, and drops the present off at the sacrum. Now, once we're at the sacrum, we need to raise our vibration to take this oil back up the spine. Okay, and the River Jordan symbolizes this in the Bible. King Herod wants to kill Jesus in Nazareth, which is here, this is the River Jordan, is Nazareth. He goes to be born in Bethlehem and then goes back up to Nazareth, to Joseph and Mary. Joseph and Mary, the pineal gland and the pituitary gland. The Bible is huge symbolism. It's all metaphors for this sacred process which goes on inside of your body. You are the Temple of Solomon. You are the Holy Land. The Holy Land is your brain. Once this oil is at the sacrum, you need to raise your vibration in order to take it back up. Once this oil has gone back up to the pineal gland, it activates the crystals which are wrapped around your pineal gland. Your pineal gland is this tiny little bean here. This is the claustrum. This is the pineal gland. And it's wrapped in crystals. And when this oil travels back up the spine by raising your vibration, back to the upper room where Jesus met the 12 disciples, or the 12 cranial nerves in the brain, and it activates and it turns on this pineal gland. And once it's turned on, it illuminates all the cells and the nerves in your brain and turns them all on and activates the higher God man, the God consciousness, Christ consciousness. And it regenerates the whole body. This is the secret to regeneration. It regenerates all the cells in the body. And this is how the ancients lived for thousands and thousands of years. As talked about in ancient texts. They lived for hundreds and thousands of years because they knew this secret. And this fluid, this brain fluid, the secretion, or the Christos in Greek, which means gold, because this is the alchemical process from turning lead to gold. Your body is the alchemical furnace. Now the ancients knew about this center of the brain because they symboled it. This is the Eye of Ra, and it's the brain. And this is what's wrapped around our consciousness. Our consciousness isn't wrapped around the brain. The brain is built around the consciousness. We are the consciousness. You don't have a soul, you are the soul. Okay? Now, the head, heaven, hell, heel at the bottom of your foot, that's hell. Head is heaven and hell. Simple. Now, the pineal gland produces DMT, which is dimethyltryptamine, which is known as the spirit molecule. So, let's move on. Now, when this oil travels up, back, the spine, the chimney, it crucifies at the top, which is called the vagus nerve. So when it reaches here, the optic thalamus, it crosses and crucifies once it's raised back up. And this is why Jesus dies at 33. He was crucified at 33. Because you have 33 vertebrae on the back of your spine. And then it's crucified by the cross of the vagus nerve. When this oil crosses the vagus nerve, this is the crucifixion at 33. And it symbolizes the death of the physical consciousness. You then become spirit. You then become God consciousness, activating the Kundalini, regenerating the body and the mind. Okay? The Garden of Eden. You are the Garden of Eden. The land of milk and honey is upstairs. The pituitary, which is the milk, the pineal gland, which is the honey, which is DMT. It even says this in the Bible. As he brought us into the place, and he has given us this land, a land flowing with milk and honey, which is also symbolized as the sun and the moon. The Bible also says, the light of the body is the eye, not the eyes, the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. This is the activation of the pineal gland by raising this oil back up to the pineal gland, to the center of the brain. Neither shall they say, see that here, or see there, for behold, the kingdom of God is within you. So he's saying, don't look out there. Nothing is out there. It's all inside of you. Everything's inside of you. You're the universe. Now, how to raise this oil back up to the pineal gland? Every month, like I said. The moon controls the cycle. The moon controls monthly cycles. When the moon is going into your zodiac sign every month, this oil goes down the spine, and you must raise your frequency to get it back up. You must retain your seed. This is the most important. Your fluid, your secret, your holy fluid, your life force. You can't let that go. That life force is the reason you're alive. This holy oil is the reason you're alive, because it feeds all of the systems in your body. It feeds all the systems in your body. You have to retain your seed. Alkaline diet, positive thinking, and meditation. Okay? When you retain your seed, you will live longer. The moment you release it, you're killing yourself. You're killing a piece of yourself every time you release your seed. Every single time. You're killing a part of yourself. Okay? Now, this could be why this could be the illumination, the single eye on the Illuminati's symbol, the Freemasonic symbol, the illuminated eye, the triangle, which could symbolize the body, mind, and spirit, but the eye illuminated. Now, in the Bible, it talks about the two trees, the tree of knowledge and the tree of life. The tree of knowledge is the tree of good and evil, which is the most important system in your body, which is the nervous system. The nervous system, the most important. The tree of good and evil. And the tree of life, which is the cardiovascular system. Now, this oil, when it's released every month, feeds these two systems, and these two systems feed everything. Now, it's important you understand that. Okay? The ancients knew all of this knowledge. The Bible's telling you this knowledge. But it's in a metaphorical way. You have to understand the context behind it so you can read it properly. Now, eating of the tree of life, which is when it talks about in the Bible, eating from the tree of life is actually symbolizing a bad diet, ejaculation. Because you're eating from these two systems, you're killing yourself with a bad diet. You're killing yourself with an ejaculation. Okay? So, that's important to understand. Now, this is Jacob's ladder in the Freemasons. Jacob's ladder, which is the spinal cord, it's the stairway to heaven. And this is Jack and the Beanstalk when he goes up the beanstalk and finds the golden egg in the grey clouds. The grey clouds symbolize the grey matter in your brain. Now, the Garden of Eden talks about the 4 different rivers in Garden of Eden. As we see here, the North Pole map, the ancient North Pole map, because the center of the earth is the center of the torus field. Everything's the torus field. Atoms are torus fields. Everything's torus fields. You are the universe. Everything is within you. The North Pole is your spinal cord. This is why they say Santa Claustrum comes from the North Pole. This is the North Pole, and the Santa Claustrum is the center of your brain. Now, there's 4 rivers which come from the Garden of Eden. There's the blood, the Christ oil, which is the oil we're talking about, urine, and saliva. These are the 4 sacred oil, 4 sacred fluids in your body. And these are constantly abused in today's society. Also, these secret societies are targeting these fluids. Okay? This is why porn is free. They sexualize society through Disney. Go and look at some of the Disney movies. There's so many subliminal messages which sexualize these children because they want you sexualized. So you release your seed, which is one of the holy fluids in your body, especially your semen, your sexual energy. So important you retain this. So important, because it's your life force. It keeps you alive. Okay? Now, let's recap on this. If you want to raise your oil every month, you can't just retain your seed for the month. You have to retain your seed forever. Don't just do it for a couple of days. Have to do it. It's a lifestyle. You want to become God consciousness, you got to do what it takes. It's hard in this society because this society is made around, it's designed to kill you pretty much. It's designed to keep you in these lower states of consciousness with all the bad food, the chemicals in the food, the chemicals in the water, the sexualized TV programs, sexualized adverts, sexualized TikTok and apps, videos, subliminally stimulating you. Because that is your weakness, sex. It's your weakness. Now, you have to retain your seed, meditation, and an alkaline diet. Why alkaline? Because acidic is low vibrational. This is the color spectrum. And what's the highest vibrational color? Violet. It's the lowest, red. You have to have an alkaline body in order to raise this oil. When you drink, when you have a bad diet, when you drink alcohol, when you smoke, this destroys the oil. It destroys the oil in your sacrum, and it can't be raised again, can't be raised up. This is why it's so important. Without that oil, you don't live. That oil makes you live. It feeds everything in your body. It's crazy how we're not taught this. It's insane. But that is how you raise the oil, people. I hope you all gain some knowledge out of this video. And I hope this assists you on your journey, your spiritual journey. Please like and share this video. We need this knowledge out to the public to wake up humanity. Thank you all, people. God bless.
Welcome to Revival of Wisdom.
Today we're going to be breaking down Saturn worship and how the occult are linked in with Saturn. Okay, so first of all, let's start with the celebrities. All these celebrities are doing 666. Okay, covering the one eye, which also symbolizes the all-seeing eye, which is another occult symbol. But we're focusing on the 666, the 6 with the 3 fingers. Also, we have CERN with the 666 within their logo. Also Disney, okay, as you can see here, 666 within their logo. Pepsi, Coca-Cola, and even Cadbury's. Monster Energy with the 666 in Hebrew numerals. Unleash the beast. So what is 666 to do with Saturn? Because on Saturn, there is a on the north pole of Saturn, there is a six-sided hexagon. Okay, so Saturday is named after Saturn Day, the sixth planet. It is also the sixth day of the week, and has a six-sided polygon on its north pole, 666. Not only that, when you create a star out of the hexagon, you will create a six-pointed star. Okay, with 6 triangles within the star, and a six-sided hexagon, which all adds up to 666. Okay, so this is why all these symbols contain 666. So why do they worship 666? Saturn. Because Saturn is the god of time and death. Okay, and order and lessons. Okay, Saturn is a very cold and dry being. That is the 6th planet from the sun. Okay, Saturn represents the winter, which symbolizes death. Okay, because all nature dies within winter because the sun's not there. So it represents darkness and death. It rules the zodiac sign of Capricorn. Okay, so in the celestial cycle, Saturn is always opposite the sun. So it's the opposite of the sun. So they're worshipping this energy which is death-like. Okay, this god which is death and does not bring life. Okay, also is the god of time. Okay, also in the Roman and in Greek it's called Chronos. Okay, which is just a translation for time. It's also known as the Father Time, aka the Grim Reaper. Okay, the Grim Reaper. Keep that in mind. We'll come back to this. Here are some more logos with Saturn. Okay, Nike, Internet, Wi-Fi. Okay, all these occult logos all worship Saturn. They are a satanic occult. They worship this death god, this evil god. Okay, this is where the cube now comes in. Okay, because what colour is associated with Saturn? It's black, because it's the absence of light. It's opposite the sun. So black is the colour associated with Saturn. Each planet has its own colour associated with it. Okay, so when you make the cube, okay, as you can see here, the cube out of the polygon, it creates what? A black cube. Okay, and the Kabbalah, okay, Kabbalah means cube, Allah means the god, the cube god. These religions are secretly worshipping this cube god, the god of death, Saturn, Satan. It's the same entity behind it all. Okay, so also we have these black cubes in Australia, Denmark, all around the world, these black cubes, because this occult is worldwide. Saturn, Satan taking over this realm. Okay, also with this black cube, they walk around it like the rings of Saturn. Around the black cube of Saturn with the rings, they walk around in circles. What are circles? Cycles. What is a cycle? Time. The time god. This is why it has a ring around it, because it represents time, cycles. Okay, and this is another depiction. Saturn, always depicted with this Reaper staff. Okay, keep in mind this staff, just like we associated it, aka the Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper also wears a black robe, representing Saturn with the same staff. Can you see it? This is where it comes in. Okay, the same thing, look, the same staff with the black robe, black representing Saturn, the god of death. Okay, the Grim Reaper, Satan. Okay, also when you graduate from university, what do? You wear a cube on your head, a black cube with a black robe. This is Saturn worship. See, this is how Saturn, Satan, has tricked the world into worshipping him, not God, the sun, which represents God. So what is a corona? Because a corona is a crown, a circle, okay? A set of concentric circles of light seen around a luminous body. So Saturn, so this is why they used to worship Saturn by wearing crowns in ancient days, and we still do to this day. The king or queen has a crown, a corona. Also, corona, the drink. Corona adds up to 666, just like Saturn is 666. But like you see in the corona, you see the staff. You see this staff, just like the staff of Saturn, the Saturn god, like the Grim Reaper, with the black robe and the staff, just like the Saturn god. What is the Grim Reaper? It's a killer. It represents death, just like Saturn, the god of death and time. So all these occults and secret societies all worship the 666 god, which is Saturn, Satan. All of our energy is being put into Saturn, okay? And Saturn, Satan, is harnessing all of this energy. So gradually, this is what the mark of the beast is. Like it says in the Bible, the mark of the beast, or the name of the beast. Here is wisdom. Let him know that you have to understand and count the number of the beast, for it is 6. It is the number 6 of a man, and is 600, 6, 666. So this is what the mark of the beast is. They are going to eventually put green chips, just like Neuralink, which is what Elon Musk is pushing. Okay, so this chip is the mark of the beast, and it's going to be implanted to our hands or brains. Okay, and they will manipulate our consciousness, and it will manipulate our DNA, and it will directly connect us to AI, and AI is linked in with Saturn, Satan, as the demons and the people who rule this world are in love with AI. They want to connect humans to AI, and this will control our consciousness completely and give all of our energy back to Saturn, Satan, this deity that they worship. Just like when you get married, you wear a wedding ring, the rings of Saturn, over the finger, which represents the sun. So you're basically seeing Saturn over the sun. The sun is the son of God. It represents the sun, represents God. So you're putting Saturn over the sun. So thank you guys all for tuning in. I'm going to leave you guys here. Please leave a like, comment some topics that you want me to talk about, and please subscribe for more amazing content. God bless.
Welcome to Revival of Wisdom.
What is good, people? Is Revival of Wisdom. We're back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about the importance of Saturn and the occult. Let's jump straight into this. So Saturn is the god of the earth, right? It's the time of God, change, destruction, physical matter. He creates and destroys, because the energy of Saturn is the key to crystallization. It wraps things in physical matter, right? He creates everything, all life forms, and he takes things back, because the day that you're born, that's the day that your expiry date is coming. The time is ticking until Saturn takes your life. This is why he's known as the Reaper. Okay? As he's personified as eating his child here in this ancient Roman painting. As you can see, he's eating the child. We are all children of Saturn, right? He creates physical matter, our physical bodies, right? He's the god of time because he's the slowest moving celestial body. He's the Lord of the Rings, as you can see here, is the last one on the ring. It's the slowest one moving, okay? So, he is the Lord of time, destruction, and creation. Okay? This is why his name is Satan. He's the devil. Okay, but I'm not saying Saturn's evil, guys. It's a part of life. Everything lives and dies, right? He's the key to crystallization. Now, as we have the clock here, our god Saturn, or Chronos in Greek, just means time. He's also the god of time, as I've already said. 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day. Add 2 plus 4 equals 6. 60 seconds, 60 minutes, 2 plus 4 equals 6. That's 666. Okay? And as you see on the clock, 6 take away 12 equals 6. 7 take away 1 equals 6. 9 take away 3 equals 6. 6 is the number of Saturn. It's associated with Saturn, right? He's the god of time, of justice. Everything goes back to the Reaper in the end. Everything lives and dies. Now, the artwork of him, he's always got the Reaper staff. You see, it's personifying death. Now, when you see this, the Romans were not saying Saturn was a real person, a real god in human form. No, this is personification. This is what the ancients always did. They personified, just like the Bible. It's all personification. So the personifying Saturn eating its children because it eats, it's the Reaper. No one can escape the Reaper. No one can escape death. Now, Saturn is 666, which is in the Bible, the number of the beast, right? The number of the beast, Satan, 666, right? So on the North Pole of Saturn, you have a hexagon which makes a cube, right? Now this hexagon, when you join up all the corners, creates the 6-pointed star known as the Star of David, right? In the Jewish religion. Now, as you can see, the 6-pointed star has 6 points, 6 mini triangles, and a 6-sided hexagon. That makes 666. And also, your Saturday is named after Saturn, the 6th planet, the 6th day of the week, and has a 6-sided polygon in its north pole. That's also 666. Now, this Star of David, this symbol goes back thousands of years, and it originates from Saturn. It's not the Star of David, right? It originates from Saturn. It symbolizes the physical and spiritual aspect combined into one, which makes us humans, right? Also symbolizes the male and female combined into one. These two sacred energies create the human. We consist of both male and female energy, also known as the Seal of Solomon. And we all know if Solomon was a real person, he talks about communicating with 72 demons. He could apparently, in the text, he could communicate with 72 demons, and this is sorcery. This is black magic. Now, this symbol is associated with hexing people. When you place a hex on someone, that is a form of witchcraft, which a hex is just a curse. When you're cursing someone, this is black magic. Now, the black magician would stand in the middle of the symbol and cast his spells onto other people. Now, this symbol is obviously on the $1 bill, twice on the $1 bill. And it's very, very ancient symbol. And it originates from Saturn. And let's keep going. So the cube. So I've just said how you see the cube on the North Pole of Saturn, right? The cube is limited. It's a 3D shape. It symbolizes limitations to the physical 3D dimension, the third dimension, the physical realm which we are in. Now, as you can see, the color associated with Saturn is black, right? Black is infinite potential. Black is the creation of all things. Before there was light. Light is born out of blackness, darkness, okay? Now, black is physical matter. And as you can see, the black cube, black symbolizing physical matter, the cube being limited, as the physical realm that we are in is limited. It's not like the fourth dimension where everything can exist in a thought. The third dimension is limited, right? And this is what Saturn is. It limits you to the 3D 666. Your body limits you to your physical body. Now these black cubes are placed everywhere, as you can see: Australia, Denmark, Manhattan. There's one in New York. As you can see, the Apple have a cube. The Nintendo GameCube, Trump Tower is a black cube. This is worshipping the energy of Saturn, the god Saturn. Okay, it's not a god; it's a celestial energy. However, it rules over Earth because it pretty much created the physical realm. Now, as you see, when you go to a funeral, you wear black, a black suit symbolizing Saturn, which is the color associated, black. And as you see in Mecca, they walk around the black cube in rings. As you can see here, they're stood around in rings, like the Saturn, the rings of Saturn. The Mercedes symbol. You probably wouldn't notice that, but yes, it's Saturn. And when you graduate from university, you wear a black cube on your head. This is all symbolizing Saturn. Okay? Now, as you can see, the Jews here have a black cube on their third eye whilst they pray. Notice how he's shutting his eyes into blackness, darkness, and he's wrapped around a black strap around his arm. This is symbolizing the wrapping of physical matter, of how physical matter wraps things into existence. And as we all know, the Star of David is a Jewish symbol. So he has the black cube and the Star of David, right? So all of these religions are secretly worshipping Saturn. Okay, this is all Saturn worship, Kronos, the god of time and destruction, the physical reality. Now, as you can see, it's symbolized everywhere in all major corporations. Pepsi, internet, that's obvious. NASA, of course, NASA. NASA means to deceive in Hebrew. Universal, Walkers, that one's so obvious. Nike, Toyota. So many different ways they symbolize it. You either see the rings of Saturn or the black cube, as I just showed you here, the Nintendo and the Mercedes, right? It's absolutely everywhere. Now, they also use 666 to symbolize it, as I've just broken it down to you. 666, the World Economic Forum. We all know how they're trying to enslave us into this new world agenda. Google Chrome, CERN, Disney, Coca-Cola, Cadbury's, all of these have 666. Now every UPS barcode has 666, and even www. is Hebrew for 666, as you can see here. Monster, it's the same Hebrew letter that means 666. Drake, 6 God, that's his God, Saturn. Why? Because they love physical realm. They love the physical dimension, the third dimension. Because they can rule here through riches. They can build an empire here. It's not like the fourth dimension. They don't want to ascend. They want to stay down here in the physical realm. Okay? Now this is why they're cloning. They can move their consciousness into other clones to live forever. This technology exists. This is why they love the third dimension. As you can see, all of these sellouts here, Drake, Leonardo DiCaprio, you know, all of these people doing 666 because this is their God. This is their God. They love the physical realm. They sold their souls for wealth and fame in this physical realm. So why would they leave? You see? Now, this isn't all just evil, okay? So you have 7 chakras, right? You have 7 days of the week, 7 solfeggio scale notes. These are frequencies, the solfeggio scale. Now, it's called the Saturn moon matrix because the moon symbolizes your mind, because you're created out of the Holy Trinity, which is body, mind, and spirit, right? That's the triangle, the equal triangle, body, mind, and spirit. Now, the 3 main celestial bodies are Earth, Moon, and Sun. The Earth being your physical body, the Moon being your mind, and the Sun is your soul, hence why it's called solar. It's a solar soul. Now, these symbols are alchemical symbols, so when you're doing alchemy, you use these symbols to obviously symbolize what we're talking about. Now, as you can see, these are all the symbols of the planets. Of Saturn is created out of the moon on top, the moon on the bottom and the earth on top, as you can see here. You see? And this creates the number 5. Now, with the moon being your mind and the earth being your physical body, this is mind over matter, because the earth is your body's matter. This is matter over mind. You don't want to be matter over mind. This is low states of consciousness. You won't be mind over matter. You see, to manipulate matter, to create your own reality. Now, obviously, we all know Saturn is associated with the lowest chakra, which is the root chakra. This is to deal with your animal instincts. When you're down here, you identify as the physical body. You don't know anything spiritual. You're you have a pure physical mind. You don't believe in anything spiritual. This is survival mode, consumption. They want you trapped down here, which is matter over mind. They don't want you to create your own reality, which is mind over matter. You see? Now, that's what Jupiter is. Saturn is the moon on the bottom and the earth on top. But Jupiter is the moon on top with the earth on the bottom. That's mind over matter, you see? So, these chakras are an ascension process from matter, physical matter to spiritual. This is the ascension. This is the stairway to heaven. This is Jacob's ladder. You see? Now, the number 5, which is obviously associated with Saturn as well, which create the symbol for Saturn, created the number 5. You have 5 senses, 5 elements, 5 physical elements. As we all know, Saturn crystallizes everything into physical matter out of the 4 elements. 5 fingers and toes, 5 points of man. Okay, the number 5 is the number of justice. Saturn holds things back. He restrains things from you, makes you learn the lesson. Now, 666 is not all evil. 666 is the atomic structure of the carbon atom. 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, right? We are carbon-based life forms. All life forms are based on the bonding properties of the element carbon. Because Saturn crystallizes everything into physical matter. Now, the Masons symbolize this with the checkered boards. They have the black square, which is obviously matter, as I just said, the black cube, and spirit is the white square, because white is eternal light. White and light, you see. Black is physical matter. Now, this is what we are. The point of our soul is to transmute from matter to spirit, but these are interchangeable. This is the constant cycle between spirit and matter, spirit and matter. High vibrational matter turns into spirit. Low vibrational spirit turns into physical matter. You see? Now, we are carbon-based life forms. This is what 666 is, the number of the beast. Well, when I say we, the physical body is the beast. It's the animal. It's the carbon suit to operate in this physical dimension, in this physical realm. See? It's the vehicle used to operate in this physical realm. But your mind isn't from this physical realm, you see? The brain is the physical manifestation of the soul. Okay? So, as you can see here, the spine is an extension of the brain. Everything goes back to the brain. This is literally what your physical body is. You see, this is the nervous system, and everything reports back to the brain, and everything's controlled from this control center. And this spinal column, at the top of the spinal column, is your third eye, which is known as the pineal gland. And this is the seat of consciousness. It's the center of consciousness. That is your true self, pure consciousness. This body is just a physical body. This body is mortal. This body runs out, but your consciousness lives forever. They don't want you knowing this. This is why they keep you down here in your lower chakra. They want you to believe everything is just physical. They don't want you to believe in the spiritual side of reality. Because this way they can manipulate you, right? They want you matter over mind, because they know your mind creates reality. They know your mind is the root cause of reality. You manifest your own reality from the inside out. So this is why they control your perception of reality. They control your information in order to manifest their new world order. You, who are ignorant to knowledge and wisdom, you who are ignorant are manifesting their agenda because you accept their information and their perception of this reality. Now, this is why they tell you the globe model, the heliocentric model, to trap you into physical matter. Now, if you understood about this true form of this realm, you'd understand that there's a spiritual side behind everything. The spiritual side, something has to exist. The root cause of reality is higher planes of existence. It happens in the mind before it happens on the physical plane. You see? They don't want you knowing this. They want you matter over mind, which is the symbol for Saturn. Moon over Earth. The Holy Trinity. Now, as you can see, the cube also makes IXXI. This is Roman numerals. This is Roman numerals, and when it's translated from 9/11. Yes, 9/11. This is the secret code of the One World Order. The two twin towers, when the two become one. Okay, when the two become one, this is how you reach the higher states of consciousness, the physical and spiritual. Now, as you can see, the 9/11 memorial are two black cubes. It's 2 black cubes. This is all Saturn worship. Now, I'm not saying that Saturn is an evil celestial body, right? No, everything has a good side and a bad side, right? It's duality. The spirits of Saturn on the dark side are the most evil demonic spirits. Now, these are the spirits that these are invoking through these rituals, right? Yes, 9/11 was a massive ritual. It's a satanic ritual, okay? Now, we all know Elon Musk. Elon Musk is coming with the mark of the beast. In English gematria, this equals 666, right? 666, as I said, is the number of the beast. You are the beast, your physical body. You see how the Bible twisted things up to make things more confusing, right? But it's there. You just have to have the knowledge to be able to read the Bible properly. As we all know, we had this virus. I'm not going to say the name because I'll get flagged. This virus adds up to 666 because this is all part of the New World Order. It's all part of keeping you in this physical dimension. Okay? Now, as you can see here, Novus Ordo Seclorum on the back of his shirt, on Elon Musk's shirt. This is also on the $1 bill. Novus Ordo Seclorum. This means New World Order. Yes, New World Order. This is on the back of Elon Musk's shirt. And as you can see here, he owns Neuralink, which is the brain chip which they're going to be putting into implanting this onto your brain. This is the New World Order, to connect you and merge your consciousness with AI. Neuralink and Meta, he owns Meta as well, which is the metaverse. These are going to be linked in, hence why they have the same symbol, but just in a different format. It's the infinity symbol. And the infinity symbol comes from the torus field, as you can see here, your electromagnetic field from around your body. Now, the end goal is for this New World Order is to trap your consciousness inside of an alternative reality being projected from the metaverse. Because the metaverse will be the reality, Neuralink will be the brain chip inside of your brain, projecting your consciousness into an alternative reality while they harness your energy of your physical 666 body. Now, this stuff gets real deep, people. Now, this is the end goal of the New World Order, is to connect you with AI. This is why they're trapping you and keeping you in these lower states of consciousness in the Saturn associated root chakra, so you don't find out about the spiritual side of reality. Because if you knew the truth of this reality, you wouldn't connect to AI. You see, you have the power within you to travel to other worlds, the astral plane, for example. You travel to different worlds when you are sleeping. Okay? They want you to know it's just a dream. However, their end goal is to trap your consciousness and feed off your energy, spiritually and physically. Okay? I don't know why these people are just pure evil. As I said, evil love bondage. They love the physical dimension. They don't want to ascend to other realms. These evil love the third dimension. This is why evil spirits will inhabit bodies, exorcisms, because they miss being in the physical realm. They miss it. Evil love bondage. So this is why they're cloning and putting their consciousness in clones to stay in this third dimension, to stay as further away from the source as possible. Okay? This is why they're doing it, and this is how it's all linked in. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Hope you gained some wisdom. Please feel free to join the Telegram, and please leave a like and a subscribe. Thank you all, people. God bless.
Welcome to Revival of Wisdom.
Welcome people, we're back with another video. Please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications to never miss a video. The Earth is a giant torus field consisting of a positive and a negative pole. The Sun being the cathode with a positive charge and the Moon being the anode with a negative charge. This is why the Sun rules over the day, giving you lots of energy, and the Moon taking your energy from you, making you go to sleep. Now, the plane that we live on is called the plane of inertia, and at the center of this plane of inertia is the North Pole. This is where the two electromagnetical energies meet. Now, this is where the most electromagnetic energy is stored. This is why all compasses will point north, because it's the most magnetic place in this reality. So the Sun and the Moon is spinning around this center point, which is stirring the ether of this reality and making everything move in circles, meaning this is a cycle. Everything's recycling itself. It's an organic simulation. The ancients also knew about this sacred land at the center of this reality, known as the North Pole. As you can see on this map from the 1500s of the North Pole, you can see 4 islands around this center black rock. Ancient civilizations like the Mayans, the Buddhists, and ancient Chinese also depict these 4 islands. The endless symbology of these sacred lands at the center has been going on for thousands of years. These sort of secrets are now kept by the elites, but as always they have to show the truth in plain sight, and this is what they are doing with the Windows symbol and also the Wizard of Oz. Now in the Wizard of Oz, as you can see, there's something called Munchkin Land. Munchkins are these unusually short people. Then on the ancient 1500s map it says Pygmy, and then the Pygmy people in mythology are also these unusually short people. Just like Santa and his elves, they come from the North Pole, and elves are these unusually short people. These stories that we are told about Santa and Munchkins are putting truth in plain sight about this sacred land. This sacred land at the center of the earth is where the aurora borealis comes from and is being emitted from this black hole in the center, also known as the black sun. The aurora borealis is the earth's aura, hence why it has the word aura inside of it. It is the life-giving essence to all life within this realm. As this dualistic reality we live in consists of both physical and spiritual, the black sun is like our sun for the spirit. It's our spiritual umbilical cord, connecting us to the spirit realm. And the rising sun is the opposite. It's our sun for our physical 666 carbon suits, known as our human body, our physical aspect. As it states in the 40,000-year-old emerald tablets, deep in Earth's heart lies the flower, the source of the spirit. The flower of life is as thine own place of spirit, and streams through the earth as thine flows through thy form, giving off life to the earth and its children. So the North Pole is the core of this spiritual reality, and the closer you get to it, the more spiritual and lucid it becomes. So the elites have covered this up in order for us to forget the true nature of this reality.
And they did this cover-up by introducing the globe model. Nicholas Copernicus was around in the 1400s, and he introduced the globe model. As you can see, he is a Freemason. He depicts himself with a globe and a Masonic compass in all of his paintings and portraits. Galileo was also a Freemason, as you could see in all of his portraits with a globe and a Masonic compass. He was also a massive part of introducing the globe model after Nicholas Copernicus. So yes, the globe model was a spiritual and political move to gain more control over the masses. After the globe model was then introduced, they introduced the theory of evolution by another Freemason, Charles Darwin. See how these two theories go hand in hand? They both degrade humanity and they make you confused of where we actually came from. By hiding the true form of this divine creation and hiding the true power of each and every one of us, they maintain control over the masses. Now this is order out of chaos, known to be the 33rd degree slogan of Freemasonry. Now this is the Masonic cosmology, and as you can see, you have the checkered board for the duality, the 5-pointed star for the 5 elements, the 4 corners for the 4 pillars, the all-seeing eye, which is Polaris, the sun, the moon, and the 7 stars. So even Freemasons are taught the flat earth cosmology and the true form of this reality. Now the true nature of the sun, the moon, and the earth is shown and reflected through the Masonic compass. The Masonic compass is the sun, the moon, Polaris at the top, and the black sun at the bottom. It makes sense why all the scientists who introduced the globe model all used the compass and the globe together, because it's truth in plain sight. As I explained in my other video, all Freemasons have to take the oath, so it goes to show, why are we all learning these theories from Freemasons who can't talk about certain topics that they learn about? Why should we believe their theories when they're holding back the real truth about this reality? Now going on to NASA. NASA means to deceive in Hebrew, and they are also funded by the government. They are not a private company. The old owner of NASA, Werner von Braun, on his grave has the Bible verse Psalms 91. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Now why would the owner of NASA put this on his grave? Seems a bit suspicious to me, alongside with the NASA astronauts are all Freemasons. And not to mention the countless mistakes they've made on their live videos in space stations, the moon landing, and the CGI footage of the Earth, which is obviously photoshopped. Just by tricking the masses that they live on a spinning ball, the elites gain the perception of the masses. Not only does it hide the divine creation we're inside of, it hides the divine spark within you. It hides the creator, the source. And by believing in space and we live on a spinning ball, it makes people come to the interpretation of that we are a coincidence and we do not have any purpose. And of course this is false. When you come to realization that we are all a divine creation and we can create our own divine life in this reality, life becomes more sacred and you start to enjoy little things. The elites want you to believe everything exists only in the 5 senses. They want you constantly looking outside of yourself because they know that will keep you on lower states of consciousness. Now this brings me to our next point. By tricking the masses into the heliocentric model, the elites started to advertise aliens in the movies, in cartoons and magazines in the late 1940s. Now this is subconsciously programming us about aliens and extraterrestrial threats, which then they can use to their advantage. And this is something called Project Bluebeam. They are more than likely going to fake an alien invasion to push this 2040 agenda, which is for one government and one ruling currency. That's it for this video, guys and girls. Hope you all enjoyed. please make sure to leave a like and a comment. God bless you all.
Neo is plugged in on the back of the neck, which is the reptilian brainstem. The reptilian brain is all to do with survival mode, survival state. It's always scanning the environment for safety, whether that's physically, emotionally, or mentally. It does not think. It is instant. For example, do I smack the guy or run off? If something happens to you, like a car's coming really quick to you, you do not think about this. The reptilian brain is the animal instinct that will instantly move your body and the instant reactions. Hence why it's the closest brain to the rest of the body. It has instant access to the electrical nervous system to control the body at instant reactions. Now, Neo is plugged in on the back of the neck, which is the reptilian brain. Therefore, the matrix is the body itself. It is the lowest state of consciousness. This is what it represents. The word matrix means womb. It translates to womb because your body is a womb. Your body is a vessel for universal consciousness, for God consciousness. And the body is also a womb where you can be born again outside of this body by raising your consciousness, by awakening the neocortex. This is why Neo is called Neo, because it represents the neocortex. This is the higher aspect of our brain. This is all to do with new things, higher reasoning, higher thinking, new learning. You see, the brain is a receiver for universal consciousness. And what do I mean? It is a radio receiver. Think of it like this. You have a radio tower which emits frequencies. And each little frequency, 00.1, 00.2, 00.3, each 00 point is a different person. We are all the same universal consciousness, encapsulated inside of a different vessel. This is why our body is the temple of God inside of the Bible. Your body is a sacred temple of the divine essence of the universe. However, consciousness is controlling this physical body. And I'll show you this diagram here. Consciousness consists of imagination, emotions, thought, and memory. All of these things are not physical. They're not made out of atoms. You cannot think with atoms. If I split open your brain while you are thinking of a cheesecake, I would not see a cheesecake. It's because these things exist metaphysically within consciousness. They are not physical. The body is physical. It's part of matter. It's part of time. You see the Leonardo da Vinci, the circle and the square. The square represents limitation, beginning and end, because when you draw a square, there is a beginning and end. It represents the body, the mortal self, the ego, the echo. Then you have the spirit raised above, which represents spirit over matter, mind over matter. Invisible forces create physical forces. Everything physical exists in non-physical. This is also the Freemasonic square and compass, why the square is below the compass, because the compass creates the circle, which is spirit or mind. Then you have the square, which is matter. Mind and matter are the same substance. Mind creates matter through thought. Everything in this physical universe manifested through thought. Everything began as thought. So you are spirit and matter. You have a material body and a spiritual body. And you are right in the middle. This is why humans are very, very important. Because we have an animal nature, the reptilian brain, and a higher consciousness, the neocortex. And we must awaken out of the matrix, which means womb, which is the body. And Neo is waken up from the lower self, the reptilian brain, and moves into the neocortex. Because the brain is a radio receiver for consciousness. Now, what do I mean? I went over this before. Your consciousness is controlling the brain. The brain is a computer. And when our consciousness our imagination, our emotion, our thoughts, and our memories are all contributing towards just survival things, food, safety, fear, all of these things, and our consciousness is locked into a survival state. We are using the reptilian brain. We're no longer thinking. You don't think with the brain, but the consciousness is thinking, which activates the different parts of the brain. When we think for higher reasoning, we use the neocortex. It stimulates the neocortex. When we think about survival, we're using the reptilian brain. So therefore, when Neo wakes up, he wakes up to the higher aspects of consciousness, which is only utilized by the neocortex, by learning new things and expansion of the mind and expansions of consciousness. Okay? So the whole matrix is to keep you designed, well, the whole matrix is designed to keep you in a survival state, in the three-dimensional awareness. They want you constantly scanning for safety, scanning for food, scanning for emotional safety in relationships and other people. You see, they do not want you to think. They want you stuck in that reptile, that animal state, that beastly state that most people are in. Most people, all they do is eat, listen to music, consume, have sex, lust, desire. This is all the reptilian brain. So when we say the world's being ran by reptilians, it's symbolic. There is no physical reptilian humanoid beings controlling, manipulating human consciousness. We are all the same consciousness. However, there is a corrupted state of consciousness running this world. And this consciousness worships the physical plane. And they control the physical plane. So by doing that, they keep you stuck in a reptilian way of thinking, the animal state, to keep you stuck in the lowest state of consciousness. Now this is the god Osiris, which represents the reptilian brain. None of the Egyptian gods ever existed. They are all symbolic for the brain and anatomy of the human body. Osiris represents the reptilian brain. As you can see, this anatomy compare to the brain stem and Osiris statue found in Egypt. And we also see an ancient artwork of Osiris with green skin and two reptile crocodile alligators next to him, which also symbolizes the reptilian survival state of human consciousness and the activation of the reptilian brain. This is what it symbolizes. Now, this is what the Matrix is all talking about. It's talking about the awakening, the expansion of consciousness. The word divine is dive in because you connect with the divine by diving inward. There is no man in the sky going to save you. You must connect with the self. Know thyself. Truth comes from within. All of these things I'm telling you comes from within you. I'm just pointing it out. All of this is self-realization. A lot of people say, well, what are my sources? My sources is knowing thyself, observing thyself, using the neocortex of critically thinking, sitting down and thinking about yourself and having deep realization of yourself. You can realize that your thoughts are not of this physical world. It's quite simple. The brain does not think. The brain does not imagine. The brain does not hold memory. All of these things exist in consciousness, the one consciousness, but we are all fractal, infinite parts of. This is the eye on the triangle, consciousness being given down to the rest. This is separate. Consciousness is separate from the rest of the pyramid. The pyramid is your body. Neo is the one consciousness. This is the Egyptians symbolizing the one consciousness giving Ankh, which is life, to all the different life forms. However, you can see that the central sphere is giving a big Ankh to the humans, because humans, like I said, possess the advanced consciousness, an advanced brain that allows us to turn above our reptilian animal self. For example, we can go against our reptilian lower animal nature and turn to our godly nature. Animals cannot do that. They are stuck in instinct. They are stuck in a reptilian animal way of thinking and operating. Everything they create is to survive. We can turn against our lower nature and create for amazing things like buildings, architecture, technology. We can use our creative consciousness for anything we wish, not just survival needs. And it's the same with your spiritual journey. You can raise your consciousness beyond this animal state that they try to keep you in through fear, consumption, food, and the reptilian brain. We must awaken, start to think critically, and awaken to our divinity, because the mind, the consciousness within you has infinite potential to expand. There are infinite fields of knowledge that you can explore. The mind can never be filled. It can never ever be full of knowledge. It always expands, and that's why you are alive. That's why you are part of this universe. That's why the science always says the universe is always expanding, because the universe exists in your mind, and the mind is always expanding into new fields of thought, new fields of knowledge and information. And that is your whole sole purpose, of expansion of mind and expansion of consciousness, and the exploration of the mind of God. We are living in the mind of God. You are a thought in the mind of God. You must awaken out of this body. This is why Jesus says you must be born again to see the kingdom of God. You must be born again. You must raise your consciousness beyond physical limitation and awaken to your divinity. And this is pretty much it for this video. I hope you all understand this, that this is all symbolic for consciousness. People, how are you all doing? It's Revival of Wisdom, and today we're going to be talking about your birth certificates and how we are slaves to a system and how they have trapped us into this system. Okay, so the first thing you need to understand about this system is there are two types of laws. You have the law of water, which is Admiralty law, and the law of the land. So the Admiralty law is the law of water, and this is what money is. Money is water. This is why we say liquidity, currency, the current. A current is water, something moving through something. Cash flow. And this is why banks are called banks, because a river bank is on either side of the water, and it directs the currency. You see? So money is water. And as you can see here, Ripple, the cryptocurrency, Ripple, water Ripple, and they're building a bridge over water, overseas, international banking with cryptocurrency. So money is water, and this has specific laws about water, but water is the same everywhere, you see. What the difference is with the law of the land is that you can have different laws in different lands. I can't do certain things in the UK that people can do in America, for example. You see, that's the law of the land. But the law of water is the same, because water is everywhere. Now, this is very important to understand when it comes to, you know, these birth certificates. So, Pope Gregory, this is where we're going to start off. Pope Gregory in 1582 took the Orthodox Eastern sunrise calendar and changed it to his own Gregorian timeline, not a calendar, a timeline. This timeline was copyrighted by Pope Gregory, under the name of the Vatican. So the Vatican owns the timeline that we are using today, 2023. They own it. They own the title of this Gregorian calendar. Okay? Therefore, anyone who is born under this copyrighted timeline, not calendar, they are subjected to Rome because Rome owns the timeline. They have a patent, a copyright for that timeline. What is on our birth certificates? That timeline. We are born underneath, we are subjected to the Vatican. This is why all birth certificates go to the Vatican. They own every single birth certificate. Okay? So when we use this timeline, we are subjecting ourselves to this timeline. Okay? Which the Vatican has a claim over. This calendar or timeline is set to sunset, not the sunrise, which is associated with death, darkness, and the moon, lunatics. You see, so this is a sunset calendar timeline. Okay, this is now, they've changed a couple things, right? They say that the new year is January the 1st. Okay, when we know this is in winter. January is winter, which is associated with darkness, death, the death of nature. So this is a death cult, people. These people are evil. They're so evil. The Vatican. And this is why we use April Fool's Day, because April is in Aries, and Aries is always the start of the zodiac. This is why Aries rules the head region. 12 zodiacs, 12 systems of the body. Each zodiac is associated with each part of the body, and this is why Aries is the head. Cerebrum. But we're not going to talk about it in this video. But yes, that is what April Fool's Day is. They're putting it in your face. April Fool's Day is the real start of the year, when the sun starts to rise again, when the risen Savior is resurrected, when it's born again. This is when the Jews celebrate the Passover. This is when the Christians celebrate the resurrection of Jesus, and they eat lamb. The Jews eat lamb because we're in Aries, the new year. The sun is now born again, our risen Savior, the light of the world. So yes, this is what April Fool's Day is. It's the first day of the year, which they changed. Pope Gregory changed. So you need to understand is that you are in the womb. You are inside of a ship, because every ship, literally a ship, every ship is female. This is why they say she delivers the product, because she does deliver the product. You, the baby. Same thing with a ship, they deliver products. They are a she. And when they pull up to the bay, like you can see on this picture, they're pulling up to the bay. This is now called the birth canal. The ship is now in birth. On paper. Okay, this is law. And when they pull up, they tie up to the bay, and now they get a certificate of manifest certifying all of the products which are on the ship and what they are bringing into that nation. Okay, so you're bringing in this many of that, everything's on the certificate of manifest. And this certificate of manifest is also your birth certificate, because you are traveling through water when you are in the birth canal of your mother, because you are in water when you are in the womb, and you travel through the birth canal, and when you arrive, you get a certificate of manifest with the name, how many, the quantity, that's your birth certificate. Okay. And this is what it is. We are a we're not a corporation, but we represent a corporation, which is your name in full capital letters. That is your corporation. You cannot physically tax a body, but you can tax a corporation. This is why we get charged. This is why we get taxed, because it all goes down to the corporation which our name represents, which we are subjecting ourselves to. We are my name, I am subjecting myself to this name, and that name has a corporation which I represent, which I subject myself to. You see, this is how we are attached to this straw man, this character that they have built on paper. So it's a character which is on paper. This is what we represent. So when the woman gives birth, she delivers the baby, and then she has another substance. Now I'm going to break down how they attach this name to us, how they do it. Okay, our mother is carrying us the product in the womb, the water, and it goes, for example, it goes from the United Kingdom into a state-owned, corporate, federal-owned hospital, which is government-owned. She does not declare the package when she enters the building. Aha, so keep that in mind. When she delivers the package in the federal territory, she does not declare the package either when she leaves. Therefore, there is no evidence that we exist when we arrive. On paper. On paper, there is no evidence that we came into the building or left the building. We have not been declared. So we do not exist on paper at this point. When the woman gives birth, she delivers the baby, and then she has another substance, which is called the afterbirth material. Okay? This afterbirth material has the same DNA as our physical body, with the body, mind, and spirit. Okay? This is how they get this cooperation. Hold on. The afterbirth material does not get claimed by the mother nor anyone. Therefore, they salvage that substance because we are under the Vatican. Every state is all Catholic. Your birth certificate is Catholic. No matter what religion you think you are, every single birth certificate is Catholic because we are subjected to Rome. All roads lead to Rome. Rome runs all of this. Okay? We're still under the Roman Empire. Okay, so Rome are Catholic and they believe in salvation. This is how religion comes into this. This is how they use religion to get this. So they salvage the afterbirth material and they claim it and they salvage it and give it and charge it to Rome. And they give it a name. Here's the legal term, born alive. Here's what it says. Each product of such birth is considered live born and fully recognized as a human person. So each product of such birth, so that could be anything, the afterbirth, the person who actually comes out, the baby. So your afterbirth, which we do not take with us, we take the baby with us, they keep that in the hospital, they collect the afterbirth, and they salvage it, and they give it the name, which, it is us. We are a representative to that afterbirth material, which they put the name on, they claimed, which is subject to Rome. So we are walking around our whole lives as a representative to that claimed salvaged afterbirth material, which the federal state have. Okay? We are under the Catholic Church, Vatican, therefore the afterbirth material is a child of God. See? On paper, therefore they believe in salvation and salvage the afterbirth material. This material has no mother or father. The state pick it up, it becomes a war to the courts and gets charged to the state. So we are a representative to that character they salvaged because it is the exact same DNA as you. Subject is the name or the title, and the matter is the physical aspect left behind in the hospital, which represents us. You see? So, now we're moving on to Unum Sanctum. Unum Sanctum was in 1302, a very, very important year. Very important year. Unum Sanctum says, this is basically how they claim everyone in the world. So the Vatican had all this power, all this gold, all these people under them. They need to get a claim for them so then they can rule over them and make them slaves. So what they did, they created Unum Sanctum. Pope Boniface VIII did this. And it says, the spiritual man judges of all things and he himself is judged by no man. The spiritual man, keep that in mind, unless he invent like Manichaeus, two beginnings, which is false and judged by heretical, since according to the testimony of Moses, it is not in the beginnings, but in the beginning that God created heaven and earth. Furthermore, we declare, we proclaim, we define that it is absolutely necessary for salvation that every human creature to be subjected to the Roman pontiff. So they are claiming us in unum sanctum, and it's in the vaults in the Vatican. They will put a spell on it because they are sorcerers, they are magicians. They put a spell on it, they lock it up, and whatever goes on that piece of paper goes. And this unum sanctum is claiming all of us. So what does it say in the beginning? The spiritual man judges of all things, and he himself is judged by no man. The spiritual man, the man with the body, mind, and soul, the first baby that comes out the birth canal. That's you, your body, you, body, mind, and soul. You have the Christ, which is I am, which is grace. Grace means here, now, in the present. You have the Christ, which means I am. Therefore, you have a soul. If you can say I am, you have the Christ. You have a soul. But a creature can be anything with no soul. You see, so no man can judge the man with the soul. However, as it says in the second part, we proclaim, we define that it's absolutely necessary for salvation that every human creature to be subject to the Roman pontiff. So they are subjecting the afterbirth, not the man with the body, mind, and soul, but the afterbirth to the Roman pontiff, to the Roman Catholic Church. We are the ones who are claiming to be the afterbirth material, which is our birth certificate, which is our representative. We represent that because it is our DNA. This is how we are stuck. We are stuck because we represent this DNA, which is on paper, recorded. You see? So we, being untaught, uneducated in these subjects, we are subjecting ourselves to this system, to this slavery. Because we just want to live. We just want to live happily. Just peaceful. Think about it. Where's all this coming from? Where's all this war, all this killing, deaths coming from? We just want to live. It's coming from the Catholic Church, these evil death cult, which has subjected us, which has used us as slaves, and we are still slaves, and it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. So this is how we have subjected ourselves to be the slaves to this system. It's a lot to take in, and there's a lot more deeper stuff which goes into this. I'm just going over the surface. I'm going quite deep, but there is little details that I still need to learn myself. But this is the general how that we've been stuck to this slave system. So we are batteries, okay? This is why we get charged. When you go in a court, you get charged, okay? Because you're a biological battery. This is why cities look like motherboards, because we are feeding energy to this matrix. Okay, when we look outside of ourselves, when we give power to so-called Jesus Christ, worshipping idols outside of ourselves, where attention goes, energy flows. We are feeding the matrix with energy. By looking within, placing your attention within yourself, you are taking back your power. Because the I am is Christ. The you, the soul, is Christ. It's God. The awareness is God. Okay? However, we are subjecting ourselves to this system. We're subjecting ourselves to this system and the feeding of our energy. So what we need to look for the future is that, think about it, with the end goal is to change our DNA is to literally make us robots, transhumanism slaves. This is why we have smart cars, smartphones, smart watches, smart meters, smart cities. And all of this is going to be connected by the smart grid, which is 5G. This is why 5G is rolling out. 5G is going to connect all of these technologies to one. It's like a big net system. And you know why they're doing this? It's because all of this is going to be connected through AI, through this 5G, and that 5G is going to be controlled by the elites. So you say anything wrong, you do something wrong, you say the wrong thing online, they'll turn off your car, they'll turn off your phone, they'll turn off your smartwatch, they'll turn off your TV, because it's all going to be connected and controlled by the smart grid. And this is what the Great Reset is, people. But they're going to trap us inside of these 15-minute smart cities, so we can't leave the area, because they're going to use climate change as a tool to enslave us to not travel because of so-called climate change and the fumes that we are putting into the air, which is all BS. They're doing this to push these new cities, to push all of it. But listen, they're trying to get inside of your body. The only way they can do that is to get you addicted and using this technology. First, they got on the body with the smartphone. Well, first of all, we use the technology. We get used to it with it in our hand. The next step for them was to get on the body, which is the Apple Watch, as you see down here. They have now successfully got onto the body. The next thing is to get inside of the body. This is the brain chip. You see how they've slowly lured their way in, slowly got you addicted to this technology, got you dependent on this technology. And what they're going to do is that they're going to mold society to be dependent on the brain chip. So in order, for example, if you want to go and pay for food, you're going to have to get a chip to pay for the food, because it's all going to be digital money. And that digital money will be connected to the chip, and you'll need the chip to pay for things. You see? So this is how they're slowly transhumanizing us. These phones, these apps, these things which are all which are all using, was created by Freemasons. Mason means traveler, because they travel the depths of the mind. They understand human consciousness. They understand the brain. They understand the mind. By the deepest root cause, they understand it. This is what Masonry is. It's the occult. So these technologies is designed by these people. This is why they're so addictive, because they understand how it works. They understand how to get people addicted, because they understand human consciousness, the brain, the body, and the mind. So this is the advantage Freemasons have over us. And these secret societies, which have gone through the orders of Freemasonry and progressed onto these secret societies, which are the evil side, because I'm not saying Freemasonry is evil, okay? But the societies which they go beyond Freemasonry, because you can go beyond the 33rd degree into these secret societies, and they use this knowledge for the bad, to enslave people. And this is what's going to happen. Transhumanism. So I hope you all learned some insight for today. Please do a bit more research on, birth certificate and stuff like that, the straw man. And have an amazing day, people. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Peace. What is good, people? How are we all doing? Today we're going to be talking about the different planes of existence, the occult side of the world, the things they don't teach you in school. And of course, you can only find that on this channel, so welcome. So you need to understand is that your consciousness moves through these different planes of existence, these different states of consciousness, which make up all of you. Okay? They are all interlocked planes. They are all interpenetrated into each other. They are all one. They melt into the plane above and below. You see, each plane is a product of each plane. As above, so below. Now, the higher you go, the more fluid, the more dreamy, the less dense it becomes. The lower you go, the more denser it becomes, the more solid it becomes. The lowest plane is the physical plane, which you are obviously aware of. You are inside of the physical plane now. But while you are in this inside of this physical plane, you are indeed inside of all these other bodies which you have not awakened yet. You have to awaken these different bodies. You have these bodies. Okay? It's like a ripple effect. And the center is the most dense, the most solid. This is Earth, heart, the heart of the ripple. And the lower you, the further you go out from the center, the more dreamy, the less fluid, the more fluid, the more less dense it gets until you're one with the all. You see? And this is what it's like. This is what this system is. It's like a ripple effect. Now, let's jump straight into the planes. First, you have the physical plane, made out of 4 elements. Five elements. The ether is the mother of the elements. It's the womb of the elements. It's the 5th element. And it gives birth to the 4 other elements. 4 is stability. Tables have 4 legs, and this is why the ether gives birth to 4, because it's the foundation of the physical world. Fire, earth, water, air. They are not pure. Each one of the elements melts into the other one. For example, earth and water both share cold. Water and air both share wet. You see? They compose of each other. They melt, they mold into each other based off the vibrational state of the ether. That's what it is. The 4 elements are the vibrational states of the ether. Okay? So you have the 4 physical elements making this, physical world. It's the lowest world. It's the world of effect. This world, whatever you see, whatever you experience, it's the effect. You can't change anything by manipulating this world. You got to manipulate the higher worlds to affect this world, you see? As above, so below. This is the lowest plane. It has 3-dimensional. It's the 3rd dimension. Space, height, and thickness. That's all it is. Front, backwards, upwards. You see, it's 3-dimensional. We cannot perceive the hidden side, which is the interior of this existence. We cannot perceive the interior from our exterior view. We are looking into this world. Okay? This is the exterior view. We can't see what's inside of that. That's the 4th dimension, which is the next one. It's the most gross and dense plane. 4 states of matter, the most slowest vibrational molecules exist in this plane. Above this plane, you have the ether. Okay? The word ether and either are the same thing, because either connects 2 scenarios in languages. I either support Manchester United or Liverpool. Either is connecting them 2 scenarios. The ether is doing the exact same, as you can see here on the planes of existence. It connects the astral world, which is very important, to the physical world. It's connecting these 2 worlds. So it's the ether. It's the ether. The ether is pure potential. Energy flows through the ether. It is pure energy, pure potential. Okay? The physical body is an exact copy of the etheric counterpart body. So every physical object has an etheric energy double. It's like a blueprint of that object. Every single object has an energy double, and that's the etheric double. Okay? The etheric body determines the shape of our physical body through its lines of force. All through life, it rebuilds and restores the physical body. Physical problems show up first in the etheric body, because as above, so below. You manipulate the higher planes, it will manipulate this plane. And this is why sorcery works. contact with astral plane entities. We'll get into that a bit later. So the reason why we can't see this plane, this energy world which is all around us, which we are inside of right now as we speak, is that the molecules that compose it are further apart than those of the physical plane, making it invisible to the two eyes. That we can't perceive it. Our eyes cannot physically suck in that sort of information, and our brain cannot decode it. This is why, they brainwash us with all these programs to keep us asleep, to keep these other bodies we have asleep, so we don't find out about these other bodies, and is to make you believe that everything's just a material. Only the material world exists. They don't want you to know is that everything that you see is a result of something you cannot see. As above, so below. There are realities within this reality. This is what I'm breaking down now, these different planes, on how this reality works. So your etheric double is your energy body. You can see here the physical, etheric, astral. Astral is your spirit. The ether is a part of the physical plane. It's like just above the physical plane, but it's still part. But then the astral plane is completely separate. It's another plane, but they're all interlocked. Don't think they're apart. They're all interlocked. They're all one. They all melt into each other. The chakras that we have are inside of our etheric body. They are our sense of organs which tune us to the fourth dimension. These 7 chakras connect us to the astral world, the fourth dimension. Okay? They are points for the flow of energy from the universe / 7 planets, because the 7 chakras are your 7 planets, and the 7 planets are connected to the astral world. They are feeding these 7 senses in our body. They connect us to the universe, to our etheric counterpart, and then to us, supplying the physical body. Because the energy comes from above. As above, so below. These 7 senses, these 7 etheric chakras, are being supplied with energy from the universe, the 7 planets, the solar system. Then it supplies the physical body. You see? So, the ether is very important. And this is, that the ancients understood the science of the ether, and they could, harness free electricity from it, because it's all around us. The ether is all around us. And this is what they were doing. They were harnessing free energy using the ether. The astral plane, the fourth dimension, very important plane. Very, very important. We've all been there. Every single one of you has been there. Okay? The fourth dimension is unseen of what we see. It's the interior of the exterior that we see. We see the third dimension, but we cannot see beyond what's making this third dimension. This is the fourth dimension. Okay? It's the dream world. This is where you go when you dream. Okay? This is where you go when you dream. It's the place of disembodied spirits or ghosts, entities, whatever you want to call them. When you hear ringing in your ears, that is not tinnitus. That is an entity around you. Okay? That is an entity around you. The fourth dimension is where thought forms exist. Mental images. Thought forms as in what you see in your mind when you think of an image, because the mind is the highest plane of existence. Mind is the highest plane of existence. And it manipulates all of the planes below. So it goes the mental plane, then the astral plane. So the thought is in the mind, the mental plane. That just the thought alone, no image, but then the form depiction, the thought form exists. It manifests in the astral plane as a sort of image, an entity, a living conscious being. So this is why thoughts are things.